This episode's brought to you by Aura Frames and Shady Rays, but we'll tell you about that later. Today's stories include Steam has announced brand new hardware, Brie Larson is Rosalina, and a new Ratchet and Clank game has been announced. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. What's up and welcome to a mega huge star-studded Kinda Funny Games Daily for Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Of course, I'm your host, Tim Geddes, and it was supposed to be just me and Blessing Adeoye Jr.
What's up, Tim?
But there was too much big news. We had to get Greg Miller himself joining us at the desk for one of the very rare three-person games.
If you're talking about PC gaming, Greg Miller's got to be there. All right, let me tell you about Steam. I was looking at the numbers. I'm trouncing all of you on how much I've played in the past 2 weeks of Steam. So
that can't be true.
that can't be true. That's the world you live in now. You are through the looking glass, and I'm excited to hear about this machine.
Oh, man. Everyone, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through all the video game news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, please support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon, YouTube, and now Spotify and Apple Podcasts to get all of our shows ad-free and a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be part of this show, please YouTube Super Chat all of your thoughts, opinions, and questions in. Just going to say it right now. If you have any thoughts on Steam, if you have any thoughts on Mario Galaxy movie trailer, get them in as super chats, and we'll get to those throughout the show. A little housekeeping for you. We are an 11-person business all about live talk shows. Today, after Games Daily, you're going to get the Kinda Funny podcast. After that is an NVIDIA-sponsored Doom stream where the boys are going to show off all the DLSS 4 tech and why it's the perfect time to upgrade with some Doom, the Dark Ages. After that, the Gamescast is the final dispatch review. Greg, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, myself, Barrett, and Blessing, we're not supposed to be on that much content today so that we can play Dispatch before the Gamescast we're doing in the afternoon. We still think we can do it, so we're going to do this mega packed Games Daily, then run off, play the last 2 episodes of Dispatch, then after the stream, come to you with a Gamescast where we will do a review, spoiler-free, then break and do a spoiler cast second half that you can wait on. You don't have to watch right now.
If you're a Kinda Funny member, today's Greg Way is 2 Greg Ways. Greg's formerly embargoed preview of Octopath Traveler 0 and how to talk to your non-gaming partner about your gaming needs. You want to explain that a little bit more?
There was a show once called Love, Sex, and Stuff, and it said communication was what it was all about. Somebody asked a question on how to talk, what do you do? How do you balance your time? And it's a long conversation about conversations.
Love that. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Omega Buster, and Delaney the Psalm Twining. For now, let's begin with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
A baker's dozen!
Oh, yeah.
He knew it was a special day, so he brought it.
Valve has announced some new hardware. I'm seeing a YouTube video is being talked about. I think that Steam might have dropped a YouTube video. So it might be the best thing to just live react to that, get all the information straight from the horse's mouth. That's correct. Let's do that. Barrett, the video is
everyone.
There we go.
Wow. This is Steam Deck. Steam Deck is our powerful, portable, handheld gaming PC that lets you take your Steam library with you anywhere.
Yeah, it is.
We're pretty proud of it. People who own Steam Decks have been playing everywhere, and we couldn't be happier with the response we've heard from all of you. We're excited to talk about the future of Steam Deck, but not today, because this isn't a video about the future of Steam Deck. This is a video about the future of Steam hardware. Today,
is an Xbox.
We're announcing 3 new members of the Steam hardware lineup. All connect you with powerful PC gaming. All are optimized for gaming with Steam, and all are shipping in early 2026. Let's start with this one.
Dang.
Thank God. You know? L1,
This
L2.
is the
That's what we're
new
calling it.
Steam controller. The new Steam controller puts all of your Steam games at your fingertips, so you can play wherever and however you want. Just like with Steam Deck, we want you to be able to play any game with your Steam controller, even games never built with a controller in mind. It has all the great features from Steam Deck, like trackpads, gyro, and back buttons, all in a comfortable form factor. Its next-generation magnetic thumbsticks let you play with improved responsiveness and longevity. We've put capacitive touch sensors on the thumbsticks and now on the back of the controller too, so you can enable precision gyro aiming with the touch of your thumb, or your pinky if you're feeling fancy. play for way too long with a rechargeable lithium-ion battery that allows for over 35 hours of playtime. With Steam Controller, we want to
They
make
get it.
charging
They know what to
wireless
talk about with the
Yeah.
controller.
something that's actually easy. That's why we created the Puck. The Puck is a combination wireless adapter and magnetic charger included with every Steam controller.
Nice.
Snap it on to charge. Once you're charged up, snap it off again. You can play over Bluetooth or a wired connection too. The new Steam controller works with any device running Steam or Steam Link, whether it's a PC, Mac, handheld, smartphone, Steam Deck, or the new Steam Machine. Oh, this is the new Steam Machine. Steam Machine is a powerful gaming
Whoa.
PC in a small but
Love
mighty
that.
package, designed for your games on the big screen. It's quiet too, which is crazy since it's 6 times more powerful than a Steam Deck, powered by a discrete, semi-custom AMD GPU, enabling 4K gaming at 60 frames per second with FSR. Steam Machine runs SteamOS made for a bigger screen, built for gaming in your living room, your office, or wherever you play, with the rest of your PC accessories. Steam Machine borrows some great features from Steam Deck, like lightning-fast sleep and wake, an SD card slot to easily expand your storage,
Nice.
and bring some new tricks of its own, like a customizable LED strip, which can show different system functionalities, or your own light show. Steam Machine is a PC, so run whatever software you want, and it works with all your favorite desktop and gaming accessories.
Awesome.
Steam Machine is designed to work hand in hand with the Steam controller, with the low latency, wireless connectivity of the Steam controller puck built right in. And it's great for streaming your games to your phone, tablet, laptop, Steam Deck, or Steam Frame. Oh, yep, this is Steam Frame. Steam Frame is Valve's next generation VR hardware.
You went too
Stream
far.
all your Steam games,
You went too
VR
far.
and non-VR alike, in this comfortable, lightweight, wireless VR headset. Steam Frame uses camera-based tracking, so getting into your games is as easy as slipping on the headset and waking it up. Steam Frame controllers, included with the headset, are designed with all the inputs you need for your VR titles, like motion controls and capacitive tracking for all your fingers, as well as a split gamepad layout to work with your whole Steam library. They even feature the same magnetic thumbsticks as Steam controller for responsiveness and longevity. Steam Frame also pairs seamlessly with the new Steam controller, a great companion for playing non-VR games in the headset. To make sure streaming is smooth and stable no matter what, Steam Frame includes a wireless adapter that lets you stream your games from your PC to your headset over a fast and dedicated Wi-Fi 6 connection. And the game is streamed to your frame optimized for VR, using new technology that allows for the highest resolution streaming exactly where your eyes are looking. And Steam Frame is a PC, running SteamOS. In addition to streaming, you can install and play a bunch of VR and non-VR games right in the headset without a host PC.
Cool.
You can
Damn.
also expand your onboard storage to fit even more games with a micro SD card. Steam Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame. All built with the same DNA as Steam Deck. All powered by Steam, work together, and can be used however you'd like with whatever peripherals and accessories you choose. Everything you see here is the culmination of what we've learned from our previous hardware experience and what we've wanted ourselves as gamers. Powerful PC gaming in an open ecosystem, giving you more ways to enjoy the games you love and discover new ones. Steam Controller, Steam Machine, and Steam Frame are all shipping in early 2026. Learn more at steampowered.com/hardware.
Damn.
I think the rest is just like a
It's sexy. Let it go.
Yeah. Audio listeners will enjoy just listening to music.
Audio listeners, if you're an audio listener today, what are you doing? Get over here.
Just show the Half-Life 3 logo. Just slip it in.
You gotta drip feed that. You know, that's gotta be its own beat.
Roger,
If you announce if you announce Half-Life 3 today, you overshadow all this shit.
I don't think so.
Oh, you do.
But I think it creates hype together.
I mean, yeah,
But,
it's
like-
not going to be the launch game, though, for this.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Do you think Jeff has it for Game Awards, then?
No.
Okay.
Well, there we go. I mean, let's just get some reactions out the gate. Bless, what'd you think?
I think this is absolutely magnificent. I think this is such a smart move for Steam, seeing all the success of the Steam Deck. The only thing I'm not even questionable about it. It's the Greg thing of saying, "Oh, you went too far." I think the VR headset, I am interested to see how that does in the market. That's one where I'm like, I don't think you needed to do this in your hardware lineup, at least at this point with where we're at in VR. But if you want to see VR success, if you see a future in VR, people have to be making stuff for VR, including VR headsets. And so good luck with that. I think all the things they talked about with it being a PC and all this stuff is smart. They're treating it in a smart way. The Steam console looks fantastic. The Steam controller, I think, looks really good. My biggest question is pricing. How much is all this stuff going to cost? I think that's going to be the biggest factor in terms of how we see the success of this thing going forward. But all this stuff looks really cool to me.
Greg?
Take my money. Yeah. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Last night I was downstairs reviewing Redacted, and I plugged the Razer laptop, the Razer Blade 16 that I have that I love out there that I take back and forth now to play games. And I plugged it into the HDMI, and I looked over, unplugged the Xbox Series X, and put it on the ground. Like, it's just like
On the ground?
It's like, well, I mean,
Oh,
I need to make some more space for the laptop. Clearly, this is the thing. I would love to have a PC hooked up right there, ready to go as a stand thing. Again, I don't want to build a PC. That's not what I'm into. I like the turnkey nature of both my ROG Ally, of the Razer, of what I assume this Steam machine is going to be. So yeah, this is, I don't know. Yeah, pricing, obviously, let's blah, blah, blah. But like, to me, it sounds like this is a day one purchase for Greg Miller. We don't usually get anything from Steam. So I'm happy to hand my money here as long as we're talking. Now we need to get into all of you wading into how powerful it is. And what
6 times the Steam Deck, right?
Sure. And
do the math on that. Like, it's not 1-to-1, but I don't think this thing's going to be $600.
What I'm jumping, I'm over on IGN.com right now, and I know we have so much to pull in, but Jacqueline Thomas over there has an article, or maybe it's Thomas. No, Thomas has an article, and jumping into this part, so you could tell me more, Tim, okay? This time around, instead of partnering with outside manufacturers, Valve is building and releasing a singular Steam machine with the goal of being able to run all current games at 4K with upscaling. The secret behind this is an AMD RDNA 3 GPU with power roughly equivalent to an RTX 460 or RX 7600 mobile graphics card. That might be disappointing to anyone looking to max out everything at high resolution, but it should have plenty of power while still being relatively affordable. Parentheses, we assume.
I mean, that's just where we're at, right? When we look at both the console side of like the PS5 Pro and even the highest end graphics cards, whether it's NVIDIA or AMD, it's this focus on upscaling. It's this focus on AI. It's this focus on, we're going to hit the 4K, we're going to hit the 60 and all that stuff. But there's going to be a lot of tech going on in the background to make that happen. It's not going to happen the old-fashioned way. So not surprised by any of that.
Does that sound bad, though?
No,
that's what I'm leading into.
No, it doesn't sound bad.
I am the person who needs, I understand where we're at. Xbox ought to be shitting a brick right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm wondering if that's a good or bad option.
I mean, this sounds great.
Okay.
I do. Again, it does go back to like what Bless is saying. What is the price of this? Because that I think is going to be the make or break of who this product's for. Because we look at this, we understand who this product's for, but there is that pricing. And I also think that there's just the reality that people are going to have to deal with that have talked about just build a PC, just build a PC. It's like there's a price associated with that if you want that tech. However, Steam has proven at this point that they know what they're doing and that they have the secret sauce to get SteamOS working with the Steam library, working with hardware in a way that is essentially flawless. And I feel like, and I say that based on the experience with the deck, I'm not talking about the old machines, and they're even clearly saying we're separating from that. This is a new future going forward. And I have nothing but faith in this product being worth whatever dollar price they put on it, because I guarantee they're not going to try to overprice this thing. They want, the goal of even making this is to get it into households. And again, we need to bring up the Steam Deck, as successful as it is, only a handful of millions sold, right?
Yeah.
This is not like a absolute disruptor in the industry. But when we start adding all these other hardware things, and I agree with both of you about the VR headset of like, wow, we're really sticking with this. It's like, well, if they figured out all the hardware of it and this is just their hardware lineup, I actually think having all of them at once is kind of smart to just have Steam have more of a foothold, because Steam is not in storefronts at this point. Steam is not at Best Buy. It's not at Walmart, right? If they start to be with this stuff, that's when I think that the Steam Deck hasn't sold that much conversation's going to shift dramatically.
Yeah, and I think there's something to be said about how many people are adopting PC as their main thing, especially like newer generations of gamers are growing up watching Twitch streamers, watching people who stream on YouTube or whatever platform, and seeing PC be the, oh snap, all right, this is where I can play all these new and upcoming games. This is where I can play games at in a more powerful way. This is where I can do XYZ thing. I think having a version of that is speaking to, let's get this into people's households, is honestly the smartest way for them to go about it. Because if people want the highest fidelity thing, guess what? Spend the money. Like, you got to buy the highest fidelity
We're
thing.
back to what we always talk about. It's good enough.
Yeah.
Is this going to be good enough? Right?
And Steam has that power to be like, hey, you already have the Steam Deck, which devs are optimizing for, right? Devs are we get the emails when we get a new review code of people being like, hey, it's not optimized for Steam Deck yet, but it will be. Or like
big beat when it did. Hey, I don't think Luminous Arise was hey, reviewers, they send an email like, we're finally Steam Deck verified, so you're all set to talk about that.
Like, Steam is a platform that really matters for developers, and I think developers are going to look at the Steam machine and go, let's make sure we're optimized for that, especially if it does well. Of course, it has to do well before we get to that place, but it being Steam, I think already you have this built-in level of, all right, we're going to make all this stuff work together, and like it's funny because we were talking about, when we talk about Xbox, we talk about how much they're leaning into the PC side. This is the most I've seen Steam lean into the console side of things of, hey, optimization, make it easy, pick up and play, plug it in. We got all this stuff ready for you.
And on top of that, we know that because you take the Steam Deck, you dock it to your TV. It's a console. It's a Switch, right? Now, currently. Yeah. So it's like you apply that to just a more powerful box.
Finish statement.
I'm done. Go for it.
Let me bring in 3 paragraphs from this IGN article. This is great stuff over here. Who is this for? According to Valve, about 20% of its Steam Deck users used its official dock to connect their handheld to their TV. That might not seem like a lot, but given that Valve has shipped millions of Steam Decks, a first-generation product, mind you, that 20% is not an insignificant amount of people. However, there are limitations to running a Steam Deck on a TV. Chief among them is performance. While the Steam Deck is plenty powerful for running PC games on its 800p display, it can't really handle higher resolutions very well, especially when you connect it to a 4K TV. The Steam machine then is the answer. This is a living room gaming PC that should be able to play most games at 4K, assuming you're okay with upscaling from 1080p. Of course, most gaming PCs should be able to do that these days. And while the Steam machine will have to contend with similarly spec'd gaming PCs that can be upgraded, I don't think this is for the traditional DIY hardware enthusiast. Yep. Rather, this feels more like a PC for console gamers, people who didn't play games on PC until the Steam Deck hit the market in 2022. It runs the same operating system and has the same library, only it will be able to play games at much higher settings. After all, Valve claims the Steam machine is up to 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck, so it should be able to avoid situations like Baldur's Gate 3, where the second you load into Act 3 on the handheld, your frame rate slows to a crawl.
Yeah. This speaks directly to me in that, especially in that part you talk about, right? Hey, did you not play PC games that heavily until the Steam Deck? Guess what? I'm that person.
Me too.
Greg's that person. Yeah. There are a lot of those people, right? And the things that they're solving here are issues that I have. They talk about that percentage of players that dock their Steam Deck to their TV. I used to do that year one of having my Steam Deck. After a while, I was like, I don't like the resolution on my TV. And even with controllers, it's like, all right, I'm connecting my PlayStation controller. I'm going to go into the settings, go into Bluetooth menu, do all this stuff. I didn't like doing that after a while, right? That felt like a step beyond that easy pick up and play nature that you want something like this to have. Yeah. And already with the Steam machine, with the Steam controller, and all this stuff working together as a family of hardware, you're solving every issue I have with the Steam Deck in this.
Yeah. Something interesting too to call out. There's so much information coming out, which is amazing. What a day. This is why we do this job, right? Incredible. On that Steam-powered hardware page at the very bottom, I like this. We are made for Steam and Steam OS. It's talking about the fact that, of course, everything's made for Steam, but then this one. Ahead of launch, we are expanding our Deck Verified program to include ratings for Steam Machine and Steam Frame, so customers can understand how their games will run on the new devices. Apparently, it's going to be like 3 different things now where it usually goes. It's Steam Deck Verified or whatever, Steam Deck, Steam Machine, Steam Frame. A great addition. Again, one of the reasons I think we turned this corner, especially for me, with that Steam Deck when I first bought it. It was that idea of like, oh, cool, now I can just know. I don't need to jump through the hoops. I mean, there's some hoops, but not as many hoops to get this game up and running. I can look at it and know if I'm going to be okay.
One thing that I'm finding interesting on the Steam Machine hardware page on Steam's website is talking about the in and out ports. So there's a 1 gigabyte Ethernet, awesome. DisplayPort 1.4, awesome. HDMI 2.0, which is interesting because that means, and correct me if I'm wrong about this, chat, but it not being 2.1 means it can't do 120 frames per second. It can't do higher frame rate things. So that is kind of surprising. And then it seems a little bit more like they're doubling down on that of saying CPU and GPU, 4K gaming at 60 FPS with FSR. So that doesn't sound like great news for things like Hades 2 that are running 120 frames per second so easily. You know what I mean? And I think that does go a very long way.
Do you think that's them accounting for the power of it and it not being the highest end like internals as far as what it's doing?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But I just that is an interesting thing of like that is not great news when you compare it to consoles, right? That can do that.
Yeah.
So even the low end consoles at this point can do that.
Fair enough. How do you feel about this controller?
I don't like it. I think, it's hard to say until we get our hands on it, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. But like that space there in the center with the touchpads, I just ain't feeling. And I know that like Steam Deck has it. As if you're new around here, haven't paid attention, I left my Steam Deck behind for the ROG Ally X and now the Xbox ROG Ally X, ROG Xbox Ally X. I never had a good experience with the touchpads on my Steam Deck. Anytime I tried to use them, and granted, I could have committed more time and learned to do it. I always find it frustrating and not enjoyable. So I look at this and immediately go, I don't see me using this controller. I see me using an Xbox controller like I do right now, or a PlayStation 1.
I do think it looks a bit ugly. However, I'm the opposite as far as the touchpad.
Yeah.
For me, it was Inscription. That was the game where you have to, if you're gonna play that on Steam Deck, you have to use the touchpad. And that for me was almost like the tutorial. That was like the learning thing oh shit, no, this actually works very perfectly. It feels almost one for one as far as the mouse controls, especially when you're forced to use it. And so I like that being on a controller, especially when they're doubling down on, hey, this is a PC. If you have a game that uses mouse controls, like you can play that with this controller.
Yeah.
If it's just using all the same stuff that we see from the Steam Deck, if it's that same kind of hardware, that for me is a big win. And so I do see myself using this.
Yeah, you raise a great point. Obviously, like I think over here there was somebody who was talking about whatever. It's the idea that I think so many games I play, I'm still not playing any. As much as I'm playing PC now, I'm not playing RTS
and
or
like
Inscription to that.
To the point of the controller and the touchpad and all that stuff, like I do just want to talk to the sheer quality of the Steam Deck and the hardware itself and the buttons and the tech in it. And while I think I'm probably like closer to Greg at the end of the day in terms of like I'd rather them not be there just because it's like taking up room of functions I personally don't need.
Yeah.
I love how they feel. I love the haptics in them. I love the different ways that they can be used. And to what Bless is saying, it's like they work incredibly well, like playing games that need them. And I do think that obviously looking at the controller, this thing's ugly, fine. But it seems very functional. It seems very like laid out in a way that solves a problem I have with the Steam Deck of how long everything is, like and far apart it is because of the trackpads. The trackpads now kind of being out of the way, I think is interesting.
Are they out of the way? I feel like when I'm coming in, like, because obviously it's got, if you're an audio listener haven't seen this thing, right? It's got the stick set up like a PlayStation 5 controller, a DualSense controller, right? So I feel like parts of my thumb are going to be touching that pad. And
I don't know if they're going to be touching the pad, but like just what I will say is I'm sticking with my DualSense Edge. Like I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is just simply not for me in any way, shape, or form. Like even with my Steam Deck, any chance I get, I use my Edge on that. So
we have come a long way from this, though.
For sure.
Oh
yeah.
Oh my god.
Just with their history of this stuff,
it's
at least better than whatever this was.
See, functionally, I look at this new Steam Deck or Steam controller, and I think about it in opposition to the DualSense, where not that I never use the touchpad. I only use the touchpad when they force me to use the touchpad. You know what I mean? Like when it is, all right, we're playing Ghost of Yotei, I need to light the fire, now I'm doing this shit. The touchpads they have on the Steam Deck on the Steam controller and the Steam Deck are actually functional in a way where I'm like, I personally look at this and go, thank God it's here.
I would, and to be clear, you're right.
Yeah.
To drill into it a bit more, I think they're functional in a way that's mandatory.
Yes. Okay.
Obviously, the DualSense is functional, but you're shoehorning. Nobody gives a shit about
if you replace the
DualSense.
touchpad with the select button.
And how many times do you play a game? And that's all it is.
Yes.
You're just hitting this gigantic button to get into a map or whatever.
When they were talking about the controller, they were saying something about like your Steam library and stuff. I thought they were about to say that like all you need is the controller and it like will stream to the TV. And like that would be a fucking game changer. But we're not quite there yet.
I think the touchpads, I don't mind at least seeing it in people's hands here because it looks.
You look over it, yeah.
You look over it, and it also
so
seems
big.
much smaller. If it was a bigger controller, I could see it getting in the way a bit more. But like I think like seeing it actually in people's hands, it's like it doesn't feel as obnoxious as the Steam Deck is, and I say that being a fan of the Steam Deck, but like how big and chunky that thing is, and the button layouts, I think it can get a little bit cumbersome, or I think it being a bit more compact might help it.
And then their focus on streaming, I think, is very important too. Like the amount that they talked about that across all the different hardware they announced today, besides the controller, but being able to use Steam Link and the Steam Remote Play from the Steam machine to the Steam Deck, like that is, we keep saying this, it's not the future, it's the present we're in right now, where these are things that should just work, and that's the expectation. And with Steam, it does just work. Like it works right now from a high-end PC streaming to a Steam Deck. And I do think that that is a use case that so many people, once they realize the power of it, we're always pushing NVIDIA GeForce Now, and the actual native Steam one is amazing as well. And you can tinker with the settings and get it how you want. You essentially have limitless battery to play high-quality, high-end video games on the Steam Deck that the Steam Deck would never dream to be able to play consistently. So yeah, like focusing on all that stuff. And again, I think so much of this generation of gaming with the PC side, it's education. Once you understand how the stuff works, then you can kind of like have more fun and like play. And once you're in an ecosystem, they keep you there. That's why Apple people are Apple people and can't consider going to Android unless they were spurned or wronged in some way, right? But they buy Apple products. PlayStation gamers buy PlayStation products. Xbox gamers buy Xbox. Like it's not rocket science. It makes sense. Steam is now creating a suite of products around their OS and storefront that the more people are educated on, the more people are going to want to buy. Well, I have a Steam Deck. I want the living room thing. I have no interest in a VR headset, but if I was going to get one, it's going to be the Steam one, right? It just becomes an easier sell to people, and I think just then creates stronger products.
So we've been jumping around. I know Bless touched on it a bit, but Tim, what's your read on the VR headset?
I like I said earlier, I'm surprised, but not at the same time. Like I do think that if they're going to continue to support VR, which they clearly are, now is the time to do it. Have all the hardware next to each other. I don't think it takes away, not making it the focus, just making it another way to play.
Hey, we're doing something else here. Yeah.
And focusing, again, on, it's not about VR, it's about 2D games in VR. Right? The majority of what they showed in that trailer, yes, they do have Half-Life Alyx, right?
Yeah.
That's them that have what is probably known as the biggest, definitive, best VR game that there is out there. And for them to be able to flaunt that, I think is huge, but also show, hey, this headset has other uses, and that those uses are, maybe you don't have the biggest TV in your house, maybe you just are looking for a different way to play these games. You could do that. I don't think that this is for everyone. I don't think that this is going to be the device that like turns people into VR gamers, but I don't think that's their goal.
I mean,
it really sounds like it comes from a place of passion. Like they even mentioned in the trailer of like, this is just like how some of us are really passionate about playing video games. And the fact that the last Half-Life game to come out was made specifically for VR, it just seems like the culture within Steam and within Valve is just like, hey, VR is cool and we just want to support it. And if it does, if it bombs, who cares? Kind of thing. I don't know. That's my read on it.
I also wouldn't be surprised if the next Half-Life game has a VR mode, right? Like Half-Life 3 is a thing that always feels like it's in the air somewhere, right? When is it going to get announced? Me and Tim have been talking about people online that have reputable leakers, I'll say, online have been teasing the idea of like an announcement coming soon that could be a Juggernaut type of announcement. And like we've been going back and forth of, is that Half-Life 3? The fact that we're here and we have new Steam hardware announced, if you're going to announce a brand new system seller game, you're going to do it in the midst of this.
All right, let's talk about it. Half-Life 3.
Uh-huh.
That's not here. I think that's crazy that you're going to announce all these and not have it. Having said that, we also don't know the pricing and all this stuff, so clearly more is to come. Was this the plan, though? Right? Like all this stuff kind of leaking this morning, and now it's here. Did they have to jump the gun in some way of getting this stuff out there?
No, I think the fact that you have this IGN spread right now.
You're right. Yeah.
I'm browsing through Michael Hyam, friend of the show here, his preview of the VR headset, right? And like they did a whole all hands on deck up in Seattle apparently as IGN to go up there and try all this stuff. So no, I think the leaking was that we're getting close to the embargo coming up where Valve's going to announce IGN's going to have these things. I apologize if other sites have hands on as well.
I saw Digital Foundry does. As well.
Okay, so they had clearly for these kind of sites media hands on up there. So you know how that is. You start letting it go, the cracks start forming where people start telling stuff.
We were talking about this.
Apparently not telling their roommates.
Oh, I was thinking about that because, like, now that you mention it, I was thinking about a flight he took to Seattle, and I'm like, this motherfucker. You couldn't share all this, Fucking tell me the
Even
secrets.
tell you just like, hey, don't plan a Games Daily today.
Yeah, right. Give me the heads up, Michael. But no, we were talking about it a little bit before the show, right? About Half-Life 3 is not part of this. Like, what's up with that? I think this is a smarter move. Like, I think this is, for me, one where it is, if you announce Half-Life 3 alongside all this shit, I think Half-Life 3 overshadows
Yeah,
this
this
stuff.
doesn't shine nearly.
I don't
as
think the hardware alone ends up shining that way. I think you wait maybe a week. Maybe it could be Game Awards, even though I think Valve could easily just do it on their own. In fact, I think it might even be a smarter move just to do it on a random, like within the next few weeks or early next year when you have like a next big beat you want to do, to be like, hey guys, Half-Life 3 is coming, and there's a VR mode, and it's going to be a launch title with all this Steam hardware, and get that extra level of hype.
Yeah, I completely disagree with you guys. I think that this, like, in an ideal world, this would have come with a pre-order right now, price Half-Life 3. Have that one moment, have everything, get people so excited. Early 2026, like, it now is the time.
I
Let's go.
agree with you of release date and price. I think would have been compelling today. Because now, but I also think I think Valve's playing everybody to a degree. Where I think it is, hey, get hype about this, and then everybody goes, but what about the price? But what about the price? Oh shit, the price. You know what I mean? And then they get to come out here and be sub $1,000. Are we below 900? Like, how low can they get this thing?
No display on it, right?
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? How low can you get the box? Give us a release date early, and then either Game Awards, who they do love Jeff Keighley, or on Amazon Prime, biggest Game Awards we've ever had, right? Like on Amazon. Do it at Game Awards or do it shortly thereafter. I mean, like, they have two big beats I feel left, which is price and date, and then Half-Life. And how you play those cards are as interesting. But I think you put this out there, get everybody excited. Not to mention that, like, Half-Life is going to be exciting no matter what, and what percentage of people, like, it's not like it's going to be system exclusive. It's going to be on Steam. You can play it on any of your other computers or PCs. So it's not like it serves this, and doing them on the same day, I think, is the right way to go and make it feel like a console exclusive, a launch game or whatever. But and then maybe it is the idea that there's a VR mode inside of this that is doing something with it. I don't know, pushing around.
That to me is the thing, though. Like, this is it has the chance to be the biggest launch game of all time, right? And, like, I do think that, like, we talk about system sellers. Half-Life 3 is a system seller. Half-Life 3, it's that excitement of when you buy a new console and you want to buy accessories even if you don't need them. You know what I mean? You have to, like, there's just, or you want to buy more eShop games.
Goddamn,
just
Switch 2
there's
cameras.
that excitement, right? And I think that, like, Half-Life 3 has obviously that juice. I think that pairing this, if it does, they're saying early 2026. Are we in alignment that means Half-Life 3 is early 2026?
Yes. I think beyond a shadow of a doubt, Half-Life 3 launches alongside of this. Because I do think it is, again, think of what they're doing. They're putting all this information out there, hopefully getting everyone excited who isn't even a PC person. But you're a console person like I was. You look at this, you go, okay, cool. This sounds great. Everybody knows how great the Steam Deck has been, even if you don't play it. But I'm still not ready to make the jump. Then you put out a very attractive price and you say Half-Life 3 drops on this thing. You immediately sell these things to people who are like me, who have just been waiting, who are excited about PC to console to whatever, but don't want to make, like, you are fucking in. That is how you do it.
Plus, you show a little more hesitation.
I think it's very possible. I also wouldn't be surprised if Valve has a small suite of games that they're ready to launch alongside this thing, right?
Portal 3?
Well, maybe not Portal 3, even though I would prefer Portal 3, honestly. I would love a Portal. But I'm thinking more so like even a Deadlock that has just been in the ether. It's been playable, right? It's been in an early access-ish situation, whatever they're calling it, right? Like, I don't know if these are going to be day one things, but I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about maybe 3 or 4 different types of games to sprinkle out throughout the course of the year. Half-Life 3, of course, would be the biggest, most surprising one, but I could see it being a thing of, all right, we have 3 games. How do we position all 3 to create the best launch year for this piece of hardware, or for this suite of hardware?
Yeah.
Man, this is crazy times.
Insane times right now.
We're going to keep talking about all of this and more after a quick word from our sponsors. This episode's brought to you by Aura Frames. Aura Frames are the one gift that never get old. It's the perfect gift to bring your loved ones closer and share memories every single day. No lie, Aura Frames are undeniably the best gift I have ever given. Families, friends, partners, everyone loves being able to have beautiful frames showing off their loved ones and all of their favorite memories. Aura frames are incredibly smart and easy to use, allowing you to upload unlimited photos and videos directly from your phone to the frame. Plus, you can order the frame online and preload it with photos and videos using the Aura app, so it's all ready to go right out of the box when you gift it to somebody. Named #1 by Wirecutter, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com. For a limited time, listeners can get $20 off their best-selling Carver matte frame with the code AURA20. That's AURA frames.com, promo code AURA20. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Let's talk gifts. Not the kind that get tossed in a drawer, but the kind that actually get used and appreciated. The holidays are coming up fast, and Shady Rays sunglasses are an easy win. You don't even need to think about it. I'm doing the work for you. Every pair is polarized, durable, and lightweight. They've got a ton of great-looking, high-performance styles that hold up no matter what you throw at them. And the price? Way less than you would expect for the quality. And here's what sets them apart. If you lose or break your shades, Shady Rays has your back with their lost and broken protection. No hassle, just a solid guarantee. So whether you're picking up a pair for someone on your list or grabbing one for yourself, Shady Rays makes gifting simple. Quality built, looks great, and actually worth it. Start your holiday gifting early and head to shadyrays.com and use code FUNNY for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shadyrays.com, use code FUNNY.
Just a small dream pitch for you.
Hit me.
Launch of the Steam machine and of this hardware suite. We get Half-Life 3, we get Deadlock, and we get a small Portal title. You bundle them together, you call it the black box.
I mean, I would take that one step further because I'm right there with you. Portal 3 pushes the VR.
I can't do that.
Half-Life 3 pushes
so fucking angry.
See, I would think if anything it'd be the other way around, just because they've done.
But I mean, okay, in the same way you're saying Half-Life 3 has a VR mode, Portal 3 has a non-VR. You know what I mean? Designed to be both, but like
the gameplay of Portal reminds me a lot of like trying to do a Spider-Man game in VR. I don't know if there's a way to QA through that to not make people throw.
That's what I was going to mention. I'm pretty sure I've seen either in a no clip documentary or some people at Steam talk about. Yeah, we tried to make a Portal in VR, and it just is impossible.
Yeah, fair. We have Paris Lilly joining us.
Hello, Paris.
Hey, good morning. How y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
Really
you
good.
excited?
I'm actually very excited. It's funny because, obviously there have been rumors and stuff over the past few days. So I went back and watched something that Gabe Newell said at GDC 2015 when they initially were trying to do the whole Steam machine stuff, right? And it just seems like they were just 10 years too early. If you think about it, they've curated what Steam is as far as big picture mode, the UI. It's obviously very living room friendly right now. You've seen what they've done with the Steam machine, or not Steam machine, the Steam Deck, to where we were just talking about it during the Ally X review, that it's still our preferred handheld, right? Because ease of use is just, it's what you want in a handheld. And all of that is built around that UI of what they've done with Steam and now obviously with Steam OS. So for them to, and price is going to be key on all of this, right? But if this is somewhat affordable and you can stick this in your living room and it just plays your Steam games, it's what I would want, because I know you guys talked about before about who is this for, and I think it is targeted at someone like me that I play PC games. I have a huge Steam library. I already use the Steam Deck. Now I get to transfer that to my television. I can play games in 4K, 60 frames. Anything I want to do more high end than that, I can stream it from my PC to this device, to my living room, play it at 120, all the ray tracing, all the bells and whistles. It just seems like Valve has given us more options for people that are already PC gamers that still want to play in the living room. This now becomes a pretty attractive, option for someone like myself. It's just price. I mean, we'll see. And like you said, if Half-Life 3 launches with this thing, it's a part of Steam. Like you said, it's not exclusive to the Steam machine or Steam Deck, but for people that want to play Half-Life 3 in their living room, this is going to be a device for them. So I'm pretty excited about it. It just seems like they've taken 10 years of lessons learned, and this is the culmination of all of that. So I'm very excited to see where this is going to go, but it'll come down to price.
What's your gut on price, Paris?
My gut for the Steam machine is 500.
No
Maybe
way.
Looking at the specs on it, you think it's more than I'm thinking the 512 version. I know 2 terabyte will be more than that, but I'm thinking they can slip this in around $499, $599. It's going to be desirable for a lot of people.
Dude, it'll be fucking insane.
That would be insane, man. I think that this thing, I'm looking at $1,000.
See, I think okay. So it's funny you say that. I think the VR headset's $1,000. I do, but if the Steam machine is $1,000, then now we're kind of talking about what Xbox is attempting to do with whatever their next gen hardware is. Which, by the way, this kind of undercuts what Microsoft is trying to get to.
Dude, they must be sweating so hard today. And again,
they have to be.
I'm with you, Paris. I don't know specs for shit. Everybody knows that. I'm an idiot. But I look at this and I'm like, this looks sub 1,000, and I really think that they'd be willing to bring it down so low so that they can undercut everybody, get these boxes in their fucking.
And that's my point.
And I think,
and
then you turn and you look at Xbox, who Sarah Bond in her tour of quotes recently, right? Of like, the next one is going to be a premium system, a luxury system, whatever she called it. And we all went, oh, it's going to be $1,000, and it's going to cost more than an Xbox, less than a high-end gaming PC. And I would imagine, knowing nothing, it'll be more powerful than this for sure. But then we're back to the success you've seen with the Switch, the success the Steam Deck itself is seen against the other handhelds that are more powerful.
I think at $1,000, this thing fails. I don't think you can push this for $1,000. I lean more towards Paris, although in my mind, I'm thinking more on the $600, $700 side. I think 600 could be the sweet spot as far as that being a thing that people might be way more willing to pull the trigger on. But like trying to keep the realistic expectations in order with tariffs and all these different things.
See, that's the other thing.
Yeah, like I think I lean more towards 700, but I think for Steam, they know they need to get this in people's living rooms.
Yeah, man, it's so interesting because there's just the reality of costs of things, right? And I think that's the only pushback I have there, because obviously I understand the strategy of what you guys are talking about of get these in living rooms and all of that. But I mean, it's so funny that the PC are now becoming consoles, and it's like consoles still have prices associated, right? But a key part there is consoles, the traditional consoles, there's the hardware. They might sell at a loss because they have their storefront. Right? They have all that stuff. We got Steam, baby.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And Steam gets such a big cut of everything, and like they have the dominant storefront at this point. So that does give them the luxury to maybe undercut the price a bit. I think 500 is impossible, personally. Like I think it'll be closer to 1,000 than 500, but I hope
talking it through, listening to the three of you, maybe 500 is a little too much of a pipe dream, but kind of like what Bless is saying, that $600 to $700 range, just for the simple fact they can quote unquote sell it. Like I look at the Steam Deck, they're not charging a crazy price for that. It's still essentially the best handheld value you can get right now, right? So you would assume they're going to try and do this with the Steam machine as well, because once you get over 700, now we're talking like PS5 Pro, Series X, which is a ridiculous price at this point now. So if they want to truly try and compete and attract more people to invest into Steam, this box would be very desirable for that. So you would think they would try and price it accordingly. But either way, I'm excited for it.
I assume it's not coming with the controller, right?
Oh, that's a good call.
Because I do think that gets it down.
That is a good call, yeah. They didn't, because they said that the VR does.
Yeah.
And they would have said that for the console, which does make sense. That helps get the price there.
Because I expect that controller to be expensive. And so, like, if you can put out the Steam machine for 700 and then the controller costs another 100.
Interesting.
Yeah. I buy that. Like, it is crazy, and what Paris is saying is very true about the Steam Deck. A $400 for the entry Steam Deck, like that's incredibly cheap for what that product is and how powerful it is. And then $550 for the OLED version that is even better and still an incredible value, like compared to similar things on the market. And then when you start thinking about how expensive the Switch 2 is at this point, where it's not like Nintendo is the cheap one anymore, right? It's like they're pretty much right there with the big boys. So yeah, like if they can get this thing to even $800, like that's if you can price this like with the PS5 Pro, I think that is huge.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Paris, do you have any other thoughts?
Yeah, no, other than just to say, like you were saying before with Half-Life 3, that's got to be coming early 2026, right along with these devices. It just makes sense because it's not an exclusive, but it kind of is because it's exclusive to Steam. And that's just going to push more people to want to invest in Steam. And I will just say, as I close this out, the Microsoft angle of this, the Xbox angle, this just goes back to what we're currently seeing with the Xbox Ally and how they're using Windows. They got a lot of work to do if they want to compete with what Valve has already done with SteamOS and with Steam Big Picture mode. It just works. It's simple. You never have to leave it to install games, updates, anything. Windows is just not there yet. So whatever they're cooking with this next gen offering, I mean, this clearly sets the standard on what they need to achieve with it. So it'll be interesting to see. But from a Valve standpoint, just being a fan of everything that they've done, this just makes sense. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Very, very exciting stuff.
Let me bring in another IGN article. This is, of course, WYP. That's Wesley Yin-Poole at IGN. That's the Imagine Games Network. Valve said, and this is reiterating, but I think it's worth the conversation. Valve says it has a pretty good idea of what Steam Deck 2 is going to be. Explains why it's holding off for now. Jumping in, he's talking to software engineer Pierre Loup Grifols. Quote, obviously the Steam Deck is not our focus today, but the same things we said in the past, where we are really interested to work on what's next for Steam Deck. The thing we're making sure of is that it's a worthwhile enough performance upgrade to make sense as a standalone product. We're not interested in getting to a point where it's 20 or 30 or even 50% more performance at the same battery life. We want something a little bit more demarcated than that.
I don't know what that is. I never heard that word. I just acted like I
hate it when smart people get interviewed. So we've been working back from silicon advancements and architectural improvements, and I think we have a pretty good idea of what the next version of Steam Deck is going to be. But right now, there's no offerings in that landscape, in the system on a chip landscape, that we think would be truly next gen performance on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Again, they've said that, but I love reiterating in this conversation.
Dang. So what should I do? Because I've had my Steam Deck since launch, and I really want an upgrade.
I mean, I think you gotta wait. Like,
it's either I wait or I get the OLED.
Yeah, but I think it's tough. I will say, like, the OLED is like my favorite device ever, and it's crazy because I think back to when the Steam Deck was first announced, and I think it was me and Greg doing Games Daily, and then Witta popped in for his thoughts or something, and he was you guys were asking, like, are you gonna get it? I was like, there's not a chance in hell I get this. I have zero interest in this. And I was saying, the moment they put an OLED on it, different conversation. And the moment they did, it was a different conversation. I haven't looked back. And it's so crazy how much better I think the OLED is than the just LCD model.
How long would I wait for the Steam Deck 2?
I think it's like 2027. I don't think it's around the corner, dude.
I could do that. I could wait till 2027.
Yeah.
Because next
I think it's 2027. Bless looks at the clock on his fucking goddamn computer. What year are we in right now?
And I just say it just because it's like, for you having the LCD model, I don't know that right now it's worth $550 for you to upgrade to the for the 2 years.
Because I'll get the Steam machine. That'll hold me over. And then 2027, I can get the Steam Deck too. I just hope it's not like 2029 or some shit.
Yeah, and with what Greg's saying there, it's like they're going to put it out when it's right for them, when it is a next-gen thing, which is awesome. I think very cool. And also, I because of all the tech of streaming and stuff, like I do think that the Steam Deck OG is going to last longer, even if it itself is not able to keep up with the brand new games coming out. I mean, we're already there, right? But that doesn't seem to hold it back at all. I do think you're onto something though, Bless, about the price with the controller being able to like get that down. What are we thinking for a controller? 100?
I mean, that's where I'm at.
Right.
With the touchpad.
What is the
Elite
Elite now? What is the Elite and what is the DualSense? Whatever.
200
is the fancy.
Oh,
the
DualSense Edge.
Yeah.
200, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, even like just normal control, like isn't the Pro controller on the Switch
80.
too? Like it's 80. I was about to say 90, but
I was talking regular DualSense.
Yeah, that's insane. $90 for the Switch 2 Pro controller.
Yeah.
DualSense, I'm seeing like $80,
Yeah.
85.
Yeah. So that's the question: is like, where's this gonna fall between the like standard controllers and the Pro level controllers.
Of course.
Oh, actually, you know what? $75 for the DualSense, and you can pay for the Klarna payment plan if you want to earn points on it.
Greg.
Yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah.
You are a PC convert.
That's right.
You were playing on the Xbox ROG Ally X.
I love it.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
And
I use Steam on it all the time.
You use Steam on it?
Steam dwarfs my use on it versus the Xbox app.
We've been talking a lot in the last couple years about the
Xbox
present
Play
and
Anywhere.
future of Xbox.
Yeah.
We know that Xbox's next console is going to be essentially what we just saw here with the Steam machine, but probably a lot more powerful and a lot more expensive. What are your thoughts?
I think Xbox has got to be like, fuck. Because I think the interesting argument about Xbox on the eve of this announcement has been, we're Xbox and we're trying to bring PC gaming to your television in an easy to use form factor, ready to go, blah, 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 plug and play with the Xbox ecosystem overlay that we already know so well. I think that's why they're able to get out there and say it's premium, because of course we'll get an Xbox console that we've made before, get everything's an Xbox, yada, yada, yada. There's so many different ways and avenues to get into it, right? If they're able to come out here with this Steam machine and have it be competitively priced with the PlayStation 5 Pro like we're talking about, this is a different ballgame where you are now talking to, and I'm including myself even now, but an uneducated consumer. Hey, we have made a box that allows you to play all these great PC games and take advantage, and I'm talking about Xbox right now, of Game Pass and all that stuff. It's going to cost more, but it's going to look great. Okay, cool. You have Steam coming out. Hey, we've made a box that's going to be able to take advantage of all these different savings and all blah, blah, blah. And, you're already using a Steam Deck. You're already using portable PCs maybe. This is one to get it on your TV and have it look the best quality, or as we keep saying, good enough. And so suddenly you're going to get that installed. And I think it's the same way you see in the arguments, and like you guys talking right now, like, oh man, I'm ready for that upgrade for your Steam Deck. Mm-hmm. But you are not thinking of getting a ROG at all, right? It's like Xbox lost that war by coming in late, and ROG did or whatever, but Steam just making it turnkey, easy to go, here we go. Steam coming out with the Steam machine being turnkey, here we go, easy to go, uneducated masses who just want to try PC gaming, who want to play Half-Life on your TV, ready to go. Bam, they're going to get there first. They're going to get a whole bunch of mind share, and by the time Xbox shows up and says, hey, we've got our next generation Xbox, it is a PC, but it's also an Xbox, but it's the power of Microsoft, and it runs everything at 4K, gorgeous, blah, 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 whatever, you know what I mean? But it costs $500 more, $400 more than what the Steam thing is. We're right to the conversation of the Steam Deck versus the ROG. I want to upgrade my Steam Deck, but I don't want to get a ROG. I want Steam to make the better thing. Like, that's where we're going to be at with this, I think.
For me, I feel like Xbox traded the console race for the PC ecosystem race, and that's a race that they're already losing, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't envy having to go up against PlayStation and Nintendo being like, I'm going to go play over here on this field, and then Steam is like, oh, we've been here. Like, you didn't see us, but we've been training up, and we have the ecosystem. We have, what was the Phil Spencer quote that he said on Xcast, right? We lost the most important generation to lose because people had those built-in libraries on PlayStation. Mm-hmm. People have that built-in library on Steam.
Exactly.
It's so difficult for me to look at like what Xbox is doing on the ecosystem side and go, oh yeah, I'm gonna abandon that so I can. I'm gonna not even abandon. I guess I'm gonna step away from Steam so that I can pay $360 a year or whatever they're charging now for Xbox Game Pass to play all that stuff.
Exactly.
When I see my Steam sales and I see Next Fest and I see all the stuff that they got going in on the Steam
Xbox's
ecosystem.
arguments play anywhere, right? And what Steam is talking about, and I think for me at least, and I might be taking my use case, which again, when we talk about gaming handhelds, PC handhelds, we start really shrinking the pie in general for what use cases are, but. This is going to, as I was just talking about, I can just have a standing box there at the TV that can then work in tandem with the amazing Razer computer I have that is going to be, keep streaming at the 4090, right? Is what it is, 5090, whatever it is. It has the craziest RTX in it, right? And then when I want to, it's going to work with my handheld. Like, you're talking about an ecosystem that Xbox keeps trying to get to and say, but this is us, and you can play anywhere, you can play anywhere. But it's like, guess what? I'm already playing Steam everywhere.
I mean, yeah, the big problem is Xbox has an ecosystem. We've talked about this for over a decade now of how the install base of Xboxes and the people that have their Xbox accounts, their gamer tags that they've had for decades, and the games that they've bought and the experiences that they have, achievements and all of that there, right? And it's like now there is this shift of, well, there's PC Xbox and then there's Xbox console. And those are not the same thing, no matter how much they say this is an Xbox. There are two separate Xboxes. And I continue to say this, but until Xbox they're knocking on the goddamn door of this, and they've been knocking on the door of it. They need to just be like, We're the number one gaming publisher in the world. That's what we are. Don't think of us as hardware anymore. We have hardware. Not the point. Not what we're pushing. Until they give up the ghost there, I think it's going to be this confusing mess and stuff. Because I think the sooner they jump on to supporting the Steam ecosystem, supporting all these others, which they are doing currently, but they're also lightly competing in a way that they're going to lose. They are losing, and they're going to continue to lose. Where they're winning is the game publishing side, and they're going to continue to win there. I think that they could just create an avenue to allow themselves to get out of their way and just win even more if they were to just rip the Band-Aid off. For some reason, they're hemorrhaging blood. They're hemorrhaging goodwill, user base, the ecosystem we're talking about to try to get a foothold in a space that is already too late to get into for them.
Yeah, that's the interesting
But
thing.
Tim, that's the problem.
Please, Paris.
Go for it, Paris.
That's the problem. That what you're saying is the problem that they're going to face, because let's just say this next gen hybrid PC console from Xbox is holiday 2027. They're going to essentially be 2 years behind on what Valve is already doing.
Yeah.
And if I'm not invested into Game Pass, because I think this is where it comes down to ecosystem, the Xbox games are on Steam. So if I decide I'm buying a Steam machine and I'm just buying the Xbox games that I want to play, I've further entrenched myself into Steam. Why would I want to get the next Xbox? I'm going to continue with whatever Steam is doing, not to mention 2 years from now, who's to say Valve doesn't have an upgraded Steam machine, and or there's OEM partners out there that are going to build similar boxes that are at a higher performance. And if they're cheaper or at price parity, why am I buying that next Xbox? I think, Tim, what we've learned over this past year or so with what Xbox is doing is they're going to stay in hardware, but they're trying to slowly rip that Band-Aid away of, we're just the publisher now, play wherever you want. We will make hardware that's available to you, but we're not expecting people to heavily invest into it. I think people are going to look at other options. People that are on PlayStation are going to stay on PlayStation. People that are invested in Steam now are going to stay into Steam. And then you'll have, obviously, enthusiasts that are hardcore, have already invested in the Xbox ecosystem. They'll probably go pick up that box, depending on what the price is. But they're not competing on hardware anymore. It's just there to say it's there. It's checking a box.
I know, and we agree about what we're saying, but they're not presenting it that way. They're presenting it as if
I agree.
Their hardware is still a competitor to PlayStation. And that's the simple problem there. Thought exercise for you guys. And I know we don't know the actual numbers here, but just bringing something up. At this point, we know that Game Pass is, quote unquote, a success and profitable and whatever you want to call it, all those things. Game Pass, to Paris's point, is currently what it means to be in the Xbox ecosystem, because there's essentially no other reason, right? And it continues to look like that is going to remain true going forward. What if they just got rid of Game Pass, shut it all down, and they are just a publisher releasing $70 titles on PlayStation 5, on Steam, on every storefront that's out there, and that they just focus on that? Will they make more money?
Will they make more money is such a fascinating question. Yes and no. Like, yes on the Call of Duty side, I guess, right? Like, you're gonna have people are gonna buy Call of Duty no matter the fuck what. Are people gonna buy all the other games that they have going, like, on that level that they went, right? On the levels that they invested on all these other studios that aren't Activision, the Double Fines of the world, right? The South of Midnight developer, games like that. I don't know. But then also, do you look at Call of Duty and go, oh, well, that's able to subsidize all these other things we have going on?
Yeah.
I really don't know.
So then, taking it a step further, then it's like, okay, cool. What if they stopped Game Pass being their number one marketing beat, and Game Pass and hardware?
I think they already have.
I mean, God, this is so messy, man. Because it's like, to me, it's like, that is hey, we're still making hardware. You can buy this, and it's the only place that you can get Game Pass, and that's the value there. If you want to invest in that, that makes a lot of sense to a lot of people. But we're being clear here. Xbox is a Ubisoft. Xbox is going to be on every console possible, and they're just marketing their games that way. Like,
is that what they want, though? Like, as Microsoft, does Microsoft look at Xbox and go, hey, be a Ubisoft?
I mean, I feel like
they accidentally moonwalked into this.
They can want a bunch of things, but like, they're going to just continue to lose if they don't commit to the thing that's working, which is being the number one publisher. And I keep saying number one. They might not be number one, but at a certain point, when you own Call of Duty and everyone else, you're number one.
I think they're eventually going to wake up to that. And what we're talking about with Microsoft being on top of them and telling them they want this gaming division to make money. I think as this continues to play out, and unless something dramatic happens, right, in terms of a Game Pass turnaround, what this next generation hardware looks like, there's so many moving pieces right now. Unless something dramatically turns around, I think eventually, yes, Microsoft's like, we want this to be easy. The subscription service is serving X amount of people, but those people would probably come and buy these games at full price. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
But isn't that also why it's $30 a month now? I think that plays into it, is what you're saying. I think they're still saying we have it if you want it, but we're not losing money on this anymore. That's why it's $30 a month. So I think the people that would be dedicated to want to give you $30 a month, they're essentially, I guess subsidizing might be the wrong word, but they're not taking away from people that would just buy it.
But here's my pivot on, or whatever, check on that, is that I think they said, yes, at $30 a month, we can afford to lose this many people, and then we'll still be able to, this will still be profitable. I wonder if those numbers have gone, if more people have canceled than they expected. I wonder, again, as more people, and I know we're talking about the box right now very specifically, but as people enter into this ecosystem, as you have seen people, and this is all fucking, is this actual numbers or whatever, but as I see people on the subreddit, both Xbox and PlayStation, posting, sold my Xbox, bought a PlayStation, here's the whole thing, as they see people moving and hemorrhaging and then theoretically still buying Xbox games on those new platforms, whether it be Steam, whether it be on PlayStation, I think that starts to work with the arithmetic. And then is it when you get that conversation of like, okay, shit, do we need to raise Game Pass to $35 to $40? And you see, that's when I think you start to see these. We're in such shifting sands all the time. Today is a shifting sands moment as well for what's happening in Redmond right now with Xbox. Like, there's a lot happening at once, and I think as it continues to seem like the deck is stacked against Xbox, they've had the dominoes lined up, and they just have never kicked it over to be like, we are on a tear and we're beating.
I mean, they did from a game perspective.
Yes. But in terms of headlines and goodwill and brand, right? Especially as you come into next year, the 25th anniversary of Xbox, right? Like, it's going to be a defining year next year of what Xbox is doing and where they're going. But I think it seems like the writing is on the wall that eventually Microsoft will be the ones of like, stop fucking around. Stop fucking around. We spent all this money on all these fucking game studios for you. Stop fucking around with this. Why are you even talking about a PC? If you want a high-end PC, people will build their own high-end PCs. They're playing the Steam box. They're doing whatever. Fuck off. We'll see, though. Maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the only thing I disagree with is that next year's a defining year. I think it's going to be just this slow fucking shamble of like falling, and I think it's going to take a couple more years because they won't get out of their own way. And again, I don't think Xbox is going to die. I think the Xbox brand is going to, at some point, be stronger than ever because they just have all of the Infinity Stones. They have the power. They just need to snap and do the right thing instead of snapping and trying to make something happen that they can't.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm fascinated by the conversation because, like, for me, what it sounds like is that they bought Activision, and Activision was a symbiote that turned them into Activision. Like, you're describing an Activision as a company, right? Hey, we got Call of Duty. Let's just keep making Call of Duty and making money. That's all we do now.
Yeah.
That sucks.
$69 billion.
That sucks.
Yeah. Paris, any more thoughts there?
Tim? No, I'll make my exit here. I appreciate you guys having me up. I do think it's a fascinating conversation. And like you said, 2026 it's going to be very fascinating for what Microsoft is doing. But overall, I'm happy that a Valve exists because it's going to push all these companies to do something different.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sure.
Thank you, Paris.
Yep. Thank you. Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you, dude.
Peace.
All right.
Corey Cudney, damn, we're in the phase of Venom Xbox where he's clapping and dancing in the street. Remember, I almost texted you this morning about 6:10 a.m. You remember when Venom in the movie danced with that convenience store lady?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Ben woke me up, and I don't know why that
Dancing
popped in my
Queen.
head. Oh, he started doing Venom stuff because, of course, he loves Venom now. So it was like he was doing all Venom stuff, and that I was like, I don't remember that.
Yeah, Mrs. Chen.
Yeah.
Remember
Never
she
forget.
showed up at Across the Spider-Verse?
She did, of course.
That was crazy.
That was a big turnover.
Everyone's favorite character in the Sony universe. Well, everybody, we're here.
We're here.
Do we have more Steam thoughts? Or we want to move
I
on?
can't wait to see what happens next.
I'm excited.
I love that.
Yeah.
Trying to think of the best way to do this. Because
I'm gonna leave and go play
leave,
Dispatch, so I can do the Gamescast.
and Bless and I are going to continue on with
Yeah,
story
I'm down
number
to
2.
finish this. Yeah, let's
Barrett,
do
are you good to just keep going? Do we need some reshuffling? Do we need to just?
I mean, at one point we got to do dispatch as well, but yeah, we can keep rocking. I'm just going to come out there and
do some things. I'm going to read super chats while
Yeah.
you change the set. Awesome. Love that, everybody. I appreciate you guys understanding. Breaking news, kind of
Breaking
big
news.
stuff. Throws us into a tizzy.
Oh yeah.
We got to figure everything out. We got Zeke Speak saying, I'm so sorry, but I'll be buying this day one. I don't know what there's to be sorry about.
Yeah, no.
Looks like a great product.
Yeah, no, it looks fantastic. Maybe they mean the VR. Then you should apologize. That's a joke. I'm actually like, I probably won't buy the VR because I've said this right. I'm cheap. I don't like spending money. And the VR, that's gonna sit in my closet probably.
Mm-hmm.
But I am interested in it. Like
Yeah.
if somebody here bought the VR, I might ask to borrow it.
Yeah. I'm interested personally in the Steam machine, where I think out of all the people at the desk talking about this, I'm the one that is least likely to get it, mainly because I don't have a need for it, because I have my PC is connected to my TV. So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm going to need it. Having said that, I do, and one thing we didn't talk about, I love that there's the little face plates you can get.
Yeah,
on
the
it.
faceplates look cool.
And the walnut one they showed,
Dude.
I'm like, that shit's kind of hot.
What's crazy, and I hate to keep bringing Xbox into this, but the fact that like the Steam machine to me just looks like you cut an Xbox Series X in half.
Mm-hmm.
But they found a way to make it kind of sexy with the faceplates. Like I look at that.
The
little
sexy
light-
LED strip. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
all right, I really liked that. But yeah, I am interested of if I'm going to find a need for this device. Maybe not my main TV. Maybe it goes to my living room TV or something. I'm not sure. But
Yeah.
I'm interested in it. I'm excited it exists. I do think that this is going to be a major hit. My big question is, do they get it at Best Buy? Like, or do they do the
yeah.
Steam thing and like keep it to themselves? Which I don't think so. I think this is going to be a huge coming out moment. Like,
I mean, how much is that a factor?
I think undeniably.
Or is Best Buy still like that?
I'm just using Best Buy as a thing, but even the website though,
Yeah.
even bestbuy.com, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Even Amazon. Can you buy a Steam Deck on Amazon right now?
That's a really good
I'm
point.
not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Let's see.
Yeah, I guess being on those storefronts that everybody's on, right, and seeing it is a thing that you could do is a big factor.
It looks like you can, but maybe not officially, because it's like $800 right now for some reason. They don't sell Steam Decks other than the Steam store, so it's Kevin
Gotcha.
Deck. So yeah, it's like,
So it's probably an
dude,
unofficial.
like think
vendor.
about that, right? Like that type of push, that is the difference maker, man. Naveed K says, time to sell my Series X for a Steam machine. Zeke Speak says, console wars are fucking over. This is hot, hot, hot.
Yeah, dude, that's the crazy thing because you mentioned it, right? Of what is the usage for you personally? And I think I'm in a similar spot of when I'm playing PC games at home, I have a PC built. You know, like I have a Steam Deck. I have and I play all my games at my desk. So do I really need the Steam machine? But there is something powerful, and we talked about this for years and years and years. There's something powerful about the idea of ecosystem where there's PlayStation hardware that I have where it's like I rarely use this, but I like it because it works in conjunction with my PS5, right? The only PS5 hardware that I have where I'm like, man, why do I have this? This is my PSVR 2. And I used it I think this last week to play Luminous Arise. But there is something about how much investment I have into Steam Deck and the Steam store and all this stuff where just naturally I look at the Steam machine and I'm like, I'll find a use for this. Yeah, like I'll put it in my living room.
It enhances it. I mean, yeah, to your point about the PlayStation, it's like the PlayStation Portal is amazing with the PlayStation 5. And my cloud streaming from remote play on PlayStation to my Steam Deck OLED looks better, is a better connection. It is simply better. And I own it. I have it. And I still find myself picking up the PlayStation Portal.
Yeah.
And it's because of just how well it works with PlayStation, and it is a DualSense with the haptics and all of the PlayStation ecosystem-y stuff. It's like, yeah,
I think for me,
a lot of
it's
value
the
there.
difference between I need one and I want one.
Yeah.
I really want one. You know what I mean? I really want a Steam. I don't need a Steam machine, but I want a Steam machine, and that's where you want your audience to be.
Darren Lewis says, birthday tax. I listen to some form of kind of funny content daily and got all my friends listening. Keep up the great work, and thank you for what you do. Happy birthday, Darren, and thank you so much for spreading the good word of kind of funny. Bless you.
Thank you.
Kyle LaBeouf says, Valve always has Half-Life software to showcase its new technology. Source and Steam for Half-Life 2. God, that was crazy. Source upgrades for Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and 2. Half-Life Alyx for the Index. Half-Life 3 is made for these devices. It's a lock.
I was going to bring up Aperture Desk Job for the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Can you play that off of the Steam Deck?
Yes, you can just play it on like your PC. I believe.
Thank you. Okay.
I
That's
believe.
Steam, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was curious, because I was like to the Half-Life 3 exclusivity conversation. I was like, is there any precedent? So no, if Aperture Desk Job was just on Steam everywhere, then
Yeah.
that's what we're gonna keep doing.
Ryan Trimble says, I went from diehard Xbox fan to seeing no reason to ever buy a new Xbox console. Testament to how good Steam has been and how bad Microsoft has been. Yeah, they really fucked up. And like, I feel like more and more I am just coming off as a hater, but it's like, it really, really bothers me when we can, all of us sat here and we're like, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And then it all did. And then they just kept making the wrong decisions. And it's like, man, I have resentment for the money that I put into a lot of these things. And you can be mad at me for that. I don't care. It's like, I have all these other products. I am a consumer and they make me so much happier and they're not causing these problems for me. So that's that. Alex Frazier says, will Xbox put Game Pass on this thing? I don't think so. Because why would Steam want that? They want people to buy the games, right?
It's a PC, right? So
But that you will be able to,
Yeah.
but like not officially from the Steam Big Picture mode or whatever.
no,
right?
because the way I do it right now is through streaming. Like, there's a way to set it up so that you will see it on your Steam homepage, right? Like, you can get it to where Xbox Game Pass is on that shit, but it'll all be cloud stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a way to make it. Actually, I don't know if there's a way to make it native. Maybe a nerd out there would be able to figure it out.
We have a lot of super chats. So
This is Linux, so maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how that shit works.
Foxy
Rocky,
Steve
let me-
says, in a world before all this insanity, I'd put a machine like that at about 700 or less. In our current fucked world, probably no less than 900. I'm going to be so interested, man, because the price of this thing is going to tell such a story about how dominant Valve's trying to be.
Yeah, how aggressive they're
You know,
going after.
are they just trying to just be like, hey, we're number one in our lane and we're just going to keep that? Or they're trying to be like, yo, this is a takeover?
You want a pizza bet?
No, because I don't feel confidently one way or the other.
I don't know why, but I feel so confident in $700.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like, to me, that's the safest of it, right?
Yeah.
Because that is, I think, that to me is a clear, it's high, but they're trying to get it as cheap as possible. Roger's running in with the speed.
I feel like
speed of
700
Gonzalez.
is like the most real. It's the balance between trying to be realistic about it, but also trying to be aggressive in terms of getting it into homes.
I'm ready to go. I want a pizza
Go.
bet.
Roger wants the pizza.
What do you want? What do you want to do?
want?
What do you want to do it?
Well, are you asking what I'm
Yeah, what are
betting?
you thinking?
$700 for the Steam machine.
I think under $700.
You think under $700?
I think
Damn.
they're being extremely. They want this. They want the smoke. And also, after watching Digital Foundry's video, this has a 8 gigabyte VRAM situation. The GPU is a little lower than they want. I think that this is specifically at the 500 gigabytes.
Yeah,
Like 500 gigabytes.
500
SKU,
gigabytes is what I'm talking
I think
about.
we're going under $700.
What's tough is that I lean more towards that than higher. Like, I was willing to bet against like 900 or 1,000, but under 700, I kind of. You know what? Fuck it, I'll take it. Let's have fun.
Let's do. How's that
700,
fun,
you
everybody?
say under
We're having fun.
700.
Yeah, under $700.
Whoa. But
Fine.
like, if it's $699.99, I want the 700.
That counts.
That counts for me.
That
right?
counts.
But a penny is so much in this economy. Yeah.
But if it's $6.98,
Then I'll give it you. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
if
that's
it's
fair, that's fair.
$6.98
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, $6.99.
I like that, I like that.
Cents. Yeah, Raji gets it.
Man, I need this console.
Yeah.
I just want to
Talk
come
to
out
me,
here.
Raj, talk
Man,
to me.
I'm gassed right now because I ran really fast. But I am so excited for this console so deeply. Like, because you and I were talking about this of like, I need a living room PC. And we were talking about the Quartercade.
Yeah, we were talking about the quarter.
Which is really cool. It's a cool indie project that, runs, smaller games at 1080p, right? So that's cool for that type of situation right there. But for me, I want to tinker. I want my living room PC that connects to everything, and I do want to get in the settings, and I want to make sure that these games can run like a Silent Hill app, like Half-Life 3.
but what you want more than any of that, Raj, and me and you have talked about this endlessly,
Yeah.
is you want to be able to pick up a controller,
Yes.
hit a button, and then it
Yes.
turns on.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
That is the console experience that currently you can get to if this, that, and this, whatever, and if it decides to work that day. This to me is the biggest defining moment of like, oh, Yeah,
It will
PC
work.
is now a console, and I believe it. I
It will
believe
work.
it'll work.
Yes, and talking back to the Xbox on PC situation, this is the best of both worlds, which you can. There's going to be a way for people to, like the Steam Deck, dual boot your Windows and your Steam, and I do think this is the beautiful situation that we're in right now. Right, we have Steam OS, which is incredible, and then we also have Windows trying to make their Windows Xbox situation going on. So in the ideal world, we will be able to have eventually Steam OS and then dual boot the situation, and then have Windows OS on this same device. Technically,
okay.
like there will be a way to make that happen.
I expect that day one, right?
Well, the Windows OS situation is not on everything.
Oh, I got it's still not on Steam.
It's not
Deck,
on
right?
no, it's not on Steam Deck. It is on certain devices. So
Yeah.
eventually we will be able to have the best of both worlds. Boom, turn on your Steam. Okay, I want to play Xbox Game Pass games. I can play it on my Windows version, and then I can go to my Steam OS stuff. But man, what a cool situation here, and I deeply expect Half-Life 3 to be announced very soon.
Oh yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I expect it. I
I'm
think.
excited.
What day is it? Is today Thursday? Today's Wednesday.
Yeah, I think it's Wednesday.
I'm gonna give it a week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
by the
really?
by the end of next
Wow.
week, Half-Life 3 exists.
Holy shit.
But here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
What are they're just doing Half-Life 3 and they say also it runs on these Steam machines, or are they saying, hey, this is also the pricing of the Steam machines? Like, how are they like, is this connected to the rest of the Steam machine stuff?
See, when I think more about it,
When I really look at the date and I really think
when
about
I
it.
really process the information, I'm like, well, maybe next week might be.
People saying Game Awards, and I love that idea because, of course, Roger predicted it at the beginning of this year. And I just
yeah.
want to put that out there because, Roger Damas was, that was my Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to happen. I also think that even though he has a very strong connection with Valve and he was there day one for Half-Life, I think Valve wants to do it by themselves. I think they want to put up the, hey, here's just Half-Life 3 on a random Tuesday
I could
or whatever.
see it though, and
I could see it.
and
This is
like
the year.
launch day, and that comes with the launch day of all of this hardware, and then you get a press release right after Game Awards talking about all the pricing and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that
and we're also like, what, today's Wednesday. Tomorrow we're exactly a month away from the Game Awards, and
Yeah.
like I think end of next week feels too soon of a follow up beat for this, where like I then would side with Tim of why not just do it all at once.
Ethan in the chat said the 19th of November is the Half-Life anniversary.
I mean,
Okay, well, I'm going back to my.
Actually, I've looked at the dates.
but also like a lot of the rumors and stuff that we were talking about was talking about next
week.
Yeah.
So, and it was talking about Half-Life 3.
Yes.
So it wasn't necessarily talking about the hardware stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, there is a I would say
A non-0%
a non-0% chance, and I would say a likely chance that it's next week. Having said that, my gut says Game Awards, and it's because of how big Game Awards is, the viewership, and the Amazon Prime, all of this stuff adding up. It's just, yeah, that is the audience you want to speak to, literally. It's that the people that are watching Game Awards, they're the ones that you want to put up the Half-Life 3 biggest excitement thing ever. No matter what's shown here, it's not Half-Life 3. Pre-order now.
Let me paint this picture then. Next week we get Half-Life 3 announced. We get like just the smallest trailer, a logo, like some sort of thing that's like, hey, Half-Life 3 exists, and then Game Awards we get the actual here's gameplay of Half-Life 3.
I think that takes away from the impact because I think that they want it's all numbers, right?
Yeah.
This is literally marketing. They're now trying to market hardware, not for the first time, but for the first major time like this, aligned with potentially a Half-Life 3. Yes, Valve does things their own way. Rockstar does things their own way. I've heard this a million times. I understand that. Eyes are eyes. More people will watch the Half-Life 3 trailer if it's part of Game Awards because the people who are going to watch it otherwise, they're still going to watch it. And now in the Game Awards, they're all watching it. And when the conversation and excitement is all circling that for a console that they're talking about coming out 2 months potentially after, within 3 months of the Game Awards, that's when you do it, man.
See,
I'm convinced it myself.
So, okay.
See, I feel like it works in benefit of Game Awards than even for Half-Life 3.
Yeah, but don't think about it that way.
'cause
like, yes, it does. You're
yeah.
right. Who cares?
But I do think that there's power in Jeff Keighley leading up to Game Awards being like, our first official look of Half-Life 3 is going to be there. I think that is the biggest benefit you can get out of this thing.
To Jeff,
Yeah.
but not to Valve.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. Like, Valve doesn't
But then
talk
I'm
about Jeff.
Yeah.
They don't need to play nice
Because then I'm like, why show up at Game Awards at all then?
because you'll get more eyes. It's just more eyes on the product that you were trying to get people to be to understand, believe in, and pre-order.
And also, the connection between Jeff and Valve has been such a good one, specifically for Steam Deck and selling it and advertising it and talking about it. So I do see that hybrid approach that you're saying a little bit of like, hey, we just put out the 3 image and we say next week, next trailer at Game Awards, it opens it, it ends it, whatever we do there. But also, like, we're getting a little spicy, you know what I mean? Like,
Spice it up.
is there more? Or is it just Half-Life 3?
Well,
is it just Half-Life 3? Because
Join
we got
the black box train.
we gotta.
Where's black come from?
Because it's a black box, the Steam machine. Yeah.
Wait, what? What were you saying?
Because you know the orange box from 2007 or whatever.
But why was it orange box? Do we know? I don't know.
I think they're just being
The
artsy.
Valve box, right? It's 5 games, just orange is their color.
Yeah.
I think
Is
that's
it the
it.
color?
Yeah. Or the Half-Life color, I guess.
Well, it's also I feel like I've seen the Valve logo is usually orange. Right?
Yeah, I know they're like red now. But like we have Portal 3. We have Portal 3 out there. We have Left 4 Dead 3. Of course, that was not part of the Left 4 Dead was not part of the original orange box,
But
right? But we
I'd
have
imagine
another
would be, could be.
We have another 3. And then we have Team Fortress 3,
yeah.
which I think it's about time. It's about fucking time for Team Fortress
That's why
3.
in my head I replaced Deadlock, or I replaced Team Fortress with Deadlock.
Yeah.
Although times have just changed.
Yeah, and also
Deadlock just needs to be a free-to-play thing.
that's going to be its own thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, you could just add it as part of it, but man, I part of me, like deep in my soul, it's like we've been cooking on this for a while. We have all these different games being created. What if it is, hey, we 3, we put the logo out, we put a little teaser out, and then maybe that's the Jeff announcement where it's like, oh no, you thought it was just Half-Life? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, we got the other 3s. We got all the 3s.
Here's the thing.
I know we're going crazy.
getting
I know, but like just
I'm
real.
having so much fun, though.
Yeah, I know. Hey, this is what this is all about. Real talk. I don't think that a orange box makes sense in this day and age. I don't think it made sense in that day and age. That was lightning in a bottle craziness and whatever.
It was also awful on consoles. It was a bad idea of
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
we're going to put Team Fortress 2 on this and we're never going to update it. Like,
I think
it's a bad idea.
If they're launching this thing, it is not you don't need more than just Half-Life 3. Like it's Half-Life 3 and your Steam library and all that stuff.
But what if that more is Portal though?
But the Portal, I think, that's next year. That's the next. Like they're going to now treat this like they're going to need beats to sell this console in stores going forward.
See, here's my pitch for it. And then this is pure comments, chill out, because like I'm getting into copium, hopium, like we're having fun here.
Yeah, we're
right?
having a good
We're
time.
having a good time. We're here to have
Pizza
fun.
bets.
Because my thing would be, if you wanted to get Portal in it, give me a Portal 1 size Portal. You don't have to call it Portal 3.
Oh, yeah.
You call it Portal : something.
Yeah.
And then that is the tee up for within the next 3 years. Finally we're getting our Portal 3
See,
game.
that's a great idea because that's kind of what Half-Life Alyx was. I mean, of course, it was a different situation, but it was that team getting to know that Half-Life universe and then clearly tee themselves up to make Half-Life 3. So if we can get that again of like, hey, maybe it's a co-op experience, right? I mean, that's so huge right now, these co-op video games. And Portal 2, the streets yearn for Portal 2.
Yeah.
And
We
but
love it.
even to that point, I was saying this earlier, and Barrett brought up a good point of making people throw up. But like, if the VR hardware is being pushed by a Portal thing, if it is a spin-off title, that does have, it's in the spirit of Portal, but it's not actually Portal, but it's using the VR.
It's reviving.
like an Aperture desktop where you are kind of just like sitting in one place. Like I could see something like that.
Oh,
for
interesting.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be so. That's the VR element, I guess, killer app, and then we have over here Half-Life 3 be the Steam Machine killer app. That's smart, actually. That's really smart.
Yeah, actually,
that's a
I'm
really
with you.
smart
Yeah,
idea.
that actually I align with, because I think you have to have something for VR. That's like the thing.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if it is just a tech demo, you need to have something.
Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, also this VR is like pushing, like, hey, you can play regular games on it too.
That's
So
true.
I
Pushing
wonder.
hard. I mean, them showing Hades, it's like they're what I love about the showcase of this is when you are creating a product for mass consumption, it's the use case. When people watch it, they need to go, okay, but how does that apply to me? And they're understanding that the thing they're selling here, it's not mainly for the VR games. It is for people that just want a screen to be able to play their Steam library, right? That's awesome. You also get the VR games, and we'll see how many of those there are and all that stuff. But like, there's a use case there that makes sense. Like, and if it's not $3,000 like the Apple Vision Pro, that's a viable product to a group of people. I also don't think that they're going to push that. The Steam Machine's going to be the main thing they're pushing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, but I also think that there is a possibility that a Half-Life or Portal 3 have just built-in VR modes too.
See,
If
that's
we're
what
doing
that's
that,
what I was
yeah,
mentioning
yeah.
earlier. Did they say does the headset work with the machine, with the Steam Machine?
I believe so. Yeah,
Well,
they're all
about
talking
the
to each other.
streaming and all that stuff. So.
Okay. That's pretty sick. Because like then I'm trying to think of pricing it out. Because if you're somebody who's like, I'm just gonna buy the family of systems, right? Are we really talking about like $1,000 for the VR headset, or how much was the PSVR 2?
$550.
yeah.
I want to say.
Because that was a powerful piece of hardware. I say was like it isn't around anymore. But
No, but how much was
I
the
don't know.
HTC? Not the HTC Vive. I guess like the Index when that launched, the Valve Index. That's I think
Yeah.
where we can base this off of. Valve Index.
I mean, the $550
$999.
$999.
$1,000.
And then
Yeah, so I think
$999.
we're gonna be around there. We're gonna be around $1,000 for sure.
And Chad's saying for PSVR 2, we're talking about $550 and $599. So we're in that range. I don't know. The VR aspect is the one where I have the most question marks as far as like how well you can really push it. But
They don't need to put they know the hardcore. And I also think that like they have like that enthusiast feeling inside the company itself, right? Like Gabe is a
Absolutely.
big VR person. Like they love it, so I think they're going to keep on supporting it. And this is their version of it. But yeah, this is clearly like hey, we're not going to push it as much. But a portal size, like a smaller situation that is exclusive to a VR. People would go freak the fuck out, but also they were fine when Half-Life Alyx came out and was really good. So
yeah, this thing is you
that
can't
pushed
you
it.
just don't call it Portal 3 and we're good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like call it whatever, Aperture GLaDOS's return or something.
she's back, but she's
She's
not
back.
a potato again.
Flying Penguin says if this comes in at $500, Xbox is done. Colin Berry says, does Valve allow Xbox Game Pass, Epic Games, GOG? And again, I think that it's no
Allow.
on the Linux, but yes on the.
You can figure it out. There will be a 10-minute tutorial that will teach you how to do it very
and
fast.
not even in a allegedly way.
No.
They're telling you this allows
computer.
you to. Yeah, it's a computer. That's it. Mr. Hawks says, birthday tax, if y'all want to pull together to pre-order this new Steam machine for me, I won't say no. Thanks in advice. Happy birthday,
Happy birthday,
Mr.
Mr.
Hawks. Joe Martin says, first time, long time, does the existence of a Steam box not threaten Microsoft's current hardware strategy?
talked
Who would
all
choose
about it.
Windows 11 over Steam? Yeah, we talked intensively about that. Let's see. Erkthelm says, if they can nail the price, the specs seem similar to the average hardware from the October 2025 hardware survey. I think most console users will enjoy it. Mini Bagel says, what a great day to catch my first Games Daily live. Shout out to all the audio listeners. Tim and Blessing, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Shout out my
Mini
audio listeners.
Bagel. Kyle said, played through Hades 2 with my Steam Deck docked at a locked 1440p, 120 frames per second of my 4K LG OLED. Wonderful experience.
Nice.
Beautiful.
God, what a time to
If
be
you're an
alive.
audio listener on Spotify specifically, if you made it this far, let me know what are you doing while listening to this or watching. Let me know what are you driving a truck? Are you doing work? I just want to know.
Somewhere different too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Cognitive Clip, Cognitive Clip said they should have called it the Gabe Cube.
Boo.
Boo.
Yay! I liked it. Rod says Steam Machine plus Steam Deck combo is the same relationship as the future PS6 plus PlayStation handheld. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, where it's like they are both their own hardware, their own things, but they're using the same library, and there's obviously limitations between them, but I do think you'll be able to stream and all that. We're in an interesting place. Carnell says, this is really good for ones who want a portable PC, but I don't think this is for console players because there's still games missing on PC, like sports games. Madden and 2K just got good on PC. Yeah, but I think you're thinking about it from the wrong lane.
I think there's a growing amount of gamers that are playing a lot of non-sports games, like even on the casual level of people that are just playing like cozy games or they're playing Hogwarts Legacy. I'm just naming popular things, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, the video games have become so much more as far as like mainstream casual stuff. It's become so much more than like the sports titles in Call of Duty.
Yeah. Spider-Man, Last of Us,
Yeah.
things, God of War, and like those are all games you can play on PC.
People are becoming nerdier every day. I don't know if y'all have noticed.
Oh, it's happening.
People
Oh,
are
yeah.
becoming so much nerdier. So.
I think they're also figuring out the deals on Steam. I think that's been a big thing, is like just how inexpensive it is to be a PC gamer a lot of the times once you get past that barrier. So yeah, I think that's come up a lot.
Bender Ascent says wild prediction in the Valley of the Gods as a launch title.
See, I was thinking about what's Santo Campo Santos. What would they be?
No, they're doing Half-Life. They're the team. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Chad. Is that they joined that team, right? Or they joined Valve.
They joined Valve. Yeah.
Then
I think Valve canceled in the Valley, right?
No, so that's what happened. Is that allegedly? Let me know, Chad, if I'm fucking this up. But that the way that Valve works, right, internally, is that you can kind of just work on whatever. Like it's like kind of based on passions and kind of like, of course, the money makers. But like if you can just kind of go there and make a team and make something happen. That team came in, got really passionate about Half-Life, of course, made Half-Life Alyx, and then we're like, we don't really want to make this other thing, and they just kept on going with that, going that. So
water looks so good
that's
in that
kind of
game.
yeah. So that's what I've seen. So they're excited.
Opponents Prime says, I feel like they have to do a Half-Life 1 and 2 remake, a 20-year later sequel outside of old heads and people hearing of the Legend of Half-Life. Who cares in 2025? They've remade them. They've remade them with RTX on and all that stuff.
Even if it's
there's
unofficially,
exactly. Like there's
Black Mesa
it's
out there.
unofficially been officially supported.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I don't think we're gonna get a Half-Life 1 and 2 remake. And to your point, like I get it in theory. I just think Half-Life 3 is the exception to the rule.
I agree,
Like
yeah.
Half-Life 3 it's the type of thing. It's like Hollow Knight Silksong on the biggest scale possible, where people that didn't play Hollow Knight played Silksong because there was so much talk and excitement around it. The moment that, like, even if you're a 13, 14-year-old kid or whatever, if you're listening to gaming podcasts and you haven't played Half-Life 1 or 2 or anything like that, when this conversation's happening, you're now interested in Half-Life.
Holy shit!
I just forgot to bring out earlier. This makes sense when you get to Wii U news.
But I like him.
You can have him afterwards.
Yeah, whenever they reveal Half-Life 3, that's going to be a very viral moment, and that moment alone is going to sell it to maybe.
And people
millions
will
of
go backwards too. Like they'll play Half-Life 3 and they'll be like, "Fuck, I should play the other ones
Here's
too."
the
Like,
thing: people will pick up and play Black Mesa, and about a quarter of the way through, they're gonna be like, "I don't want to do the rest of this."
yeah, who would do that?
Because that's me.
Also,
like, a
maybe
few months ago.
some people at this table or around this table like get motion sick and want to throw up every single time they play Half-Life, but they still love it.
But they still fucking love
still
it.
love
I gotta
it.
play Alex though. Alex looks like it would
Yeah.
be my jam.
Gene Sandoval says, not sure if mentioned, but do we think this sets the system requirements for Half-Life 3? Yeah, it was something we didn't talk about earlier, but I was thinking about it.
Half-Life 3
that's-
needs to be playable on Steam Deck.
And that's the thing too, is like, I don't think that that's a bad thing. We talk about this so much. We don't need games to be pushing the fucking boundaries, because I think that creates problems. Like having a game as big as Half-Life 3 being still amazing. Look at Half-Life Alyx. It still was amazing, but it's like, I don't think it needs to be Last of Us 2 levels of,
No.
No.
But that's also
anything.
it's never been Valve's thing. Sorry,
no.
but it's like that's like the Source engine, right? The Source 2 engine specifically.
And
Yeah.
that's what I was going to bring up, right? I think this is probably a Gamescast conversation of what does Half-Life 3 need to do? Because Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2, and Half-Life Alyx did bring something special as far as what they do for technology, whether it be physics, whether it's what Alex was doing in VR and all this shit. Half-Life is known for pushing things forward.
I mean, I think the answer simply is it's getting PCs into the home theater, into the living room. I think that's the thing. I think this is like this is not about pushing tech forward. This is about pushing like the hardware forward, right? And the ecosystem forward. And I think like when you look back to what did Half-Life 2 do? It was Source.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like I think that this is going down that path. Like it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And then they're going to do some crazy things with physics again. Like that's also the thing about, even though they don't push like the graphic fidelity of these games, like the internal way that they build these games out, and also like Half-Life 2 specifically, what it did with the gravity gun and everything was insane.
But
So
see, then I get fascinated, because if you're going to do that, right, what is the future of that? Like, is it you're going to drop this like a fucking Frank Ocean album and then say, all right, goodbye?
Yeah.
I feel like if you make technology like that, you want to keep using it for more games.
Well, that's the good thing, is that now we have a team that cares, right? We have the Half-Life Alyx team that now is like, hey, they're the people that are making Half-Life now. So hopefully, unless they get bored, like we're gonna continue to get this, and maybe have actually for the first time in a long time, like pretty somewhat consistent Valve
I just
releases.
don't believe it.
I believe in
I don't
that team.
believe it.
I believe that team cares about Half-Life and cares about that franchise. So as long as they're around, I think we will get things.
Yeah. James Peters says specs list DisplayPort 1.4, so 120 frames per second is definitely possible. Yes, but TVs for the most part don't have display ports, right? Yeah. So that's the problem of like this being in the living room, the whole point of it. Just something to keep your eye on there. I don't think it's the end of the world, but it's definitely not ideal news. Aya says birthday tax, just turned 23 and moved to SoCal from the East Coast for my dream job. Shout out to Kind of Funny for keeping me company for so many years. Been watching since I was in middle school, LOL. And thanks for all you do. Happy birthday. Congratulations. That is awesome.
Happy birthday.
Let's see. Tim C says, guys, if this is 800, it's dead on arrival. It's a very low entry level PC. It's a PS5. I mean, I just disagree. I think this is going to be a success, and I don't think it's going to sell PS5 numbers, but I think even at $800, this thing is going to hit. Colin Berry says, I don't think Half-Life has the brand awareness you guys think it will to sell to the normies who only buy 1 to 3 games a year, who are the majority.
It doesn't matter.
Tune into Games Daily the day after Half-Life 3 comes out, and let's talk about those
1
Steam
million,
numbers, okay?
yeah, concurrent players will have.
Like you're right in theory. This is the one exception to that.
It's gonna break through.
I'm looking up Hollow Knight Silksong sales real quick.
Oh, it's gonna be triple that. You think that was a lot? Holy shit.
Like, people are getting nerdier every day. I'm trying to tell you all this.
Tristan says they need to market this heavily. Sorry, I think they're talking about the Steam machine. I was talking about Half-Life. I'm like, you don't need to market that at all. You put that out tomorrow.
Ryan Downing says, head of a flashlight warranty department, and I listen every day. Love you guys. Answering your question.
There you go.
Where he's listening.
I love
Awesome.
that.
I asked the Spotify listeners.
Great stuff there.
Don't respond.
Don't respond.
But if you do respond, comment on Spotify because you can do that.
There you go.
Pretty sick. All right, everybody. We're here.
Bye, everybody.
Moving on to story number 2.
Story number 2.
We got to. We have to, Bless.
It's an hour and 49 minutes into the show.
Nintendo reveals the first trailer for the Super Mario Galaxy movie with Brie Larson joining the cast. This comes from Chris Scullion at VGC. Nintendo's published the first full trailer and revealed a couple new cast members. The second Illumination film will see Mario and friends traveling to space as in the Super Mario Galaxy games. New characters confirmed for the second movie are Rosalina and Bowser Jr., the latter of whom will appear as a villain, with Bowser still trapped in a cage at Peach's
Is
castle.
it okay that we're showing this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just that it's the initial, like, with audio and stuff. Barrett's on it.
Gotcha.
Barrett's the man
I
with
trust
the
Barrett.
plan.
Trust in Barrett.
Rosalina will be played by Brie Larson, best known for playing Captain Marvel in the MCU and for her Academy Award-winning performance in Room.
And she was in Community for a season.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Bowser Jr., meanwhile, will be played by Benny Safdie,
I learned so much about Benny Softy this morning.
the filmmaker and actor who wrote and directed The Smashing Machine and Uncut Gems, and also acted in a ton of different things. Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic have returned to direct the sequel, while Matthew Fogel's returned to write the screenplay, and Brian Tyler, one of the GOATs, has returned to compose the score. Blah, blah, blah. They say more stuff. Me and Bless reacted to this earlier. You could watch the video of our live reaction to the trailer for the first time on YouTube. So now we didn't get to talking that about our thoughts on it. Bless, what are yours?
I mean, I'm so much looking forward to this. I think it's mostly everything we expected. I think in our above and beyond predictions of what could appear, we talked a lot about Wario and Waluigi. We didn't get any of that, but also I'm not surprised that we didn't get any of that. I think everything we saw here were kind of the essentials of what you would expect from a Super Mario Galaxy movie coming after that first Mario movie that we watched. We're getting Bowser Jr. to replace Bowser as like the main villain, seemingly, right? We get Rosalina. I think the casting choices, I can't really speak much to Ben Softy, but fucking, Rosalina getting Captain Marvel, like, let's fucking go. I think that's such an excellent casting choice. Brie Larson's awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. Rosalina getting Captain Marvel, not so excited about that. Getting Brie Larson, very excited about that.
Sure.
This is one of those situations where John Cena, I love him as an actor. John Cena as a serious military guy actor, please no. Captain Marvel's character in the MCU, not my favorite, and I think it sucks because Brie Larson is incredibly talented, so fun to watch. I think that she's just so charismatic, and like they just didn't use her the right way. The Marvels was a step forward compared to Captain Marvel. But anyway, I just want to say, because I know a lot of people have a negativity towards her for some stupid ass reasons, but there is some validity that I can even say, like, I understand.
Yeah.
Having said that, you think about her in Scott Pilgrim. I love her as Envy Adams.
Scott Pilgrim, the bear, like, I know I mentioned Community and I was half joking, but seriously, like, Community, I think, is what was one of the original things I remember seeing her in. I guess it would have been Scott Pilgrim, but she does have range and a level of, I think, comedy to her that really does work when they write her the right way. And
she's a Nintendo fan.
Yeah.
Legit. So it's like, I'm all about that. And hers and Rosalina, that works to me. I can't believe I didn't think about it when we were talking about the predictions of who's going to voice her. Like, I didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
And it should have. Very happy about that. Benny Safdie as Bowser Jr., incredibly weird.
Yeah.
I love him. He's incredibly talented. Him as Bowser Jr., not anybody I would have picked, but I love the energy. I love that these Mario movies, the casting still has that weird anything can happen vibe. And when we were reacting, we saw that it hit like last time when they just had all the casters like, what are we talking about? Fred Armisen is Cranky Kong? Like, okay. But yeah, I really enjoyed the first movie, and he was in Oppenheimer. Like, come on. But seeing this trailer, I'm like, oh, we're getting more of Mario Movie 1, and to me that is absolutely not a bad thing.
Yeah. Oh, and certain scenes looked beautiful as well. I love the space stuff. I can't wait to see way more of the space stuff in the final movie, because I think what you can do with that visually, you can go real hard with that. Like, even what we saw from both the was it Peach and Luigi that took the star shooter up to space. Yeah, like seeing that was cool. Seeing Rosalina use the star shooters to take out the legs of the big spider. I forget what it's called.
Mega Leg.
Mega Leg. Yeah, like come on.
That was really sick,
That's
man.
good shit.
And I love Rosalina being OP as hell. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And like, seeing her use some of her Smash Brothers moveset, I'm like, God, man, these are the things to me that I'm like, this is what this movie is. And I understand there are people that are like, the Mario movie needs to be Pixar level good. And I'm like, I get that. And in a dream world, that's what's out. No, that's not what this is.
No.
Like, this is a sequel to the Mario movie we saw. They're keeping that energy. It's everything in the kitchen sink. It is member berries up the wazoo.
It's Toast Arena for some reason.
But
Mario Odyssey,
which is great. I love that, because we're getting the Mad Max vibe of Mario and Luigi on the like Mario Kart scooters, like, or bikes, like going through the desert. That's cool as shit. We got the Ninjas from Super Mario 2 in what looks like a level from Mario Wonder. The Ninja Disco Party, I think it was. When they're like flying through the galaxy, the little bit we saw of Peach and Toad. Like, I don't remember the name of the level, but it's the one that's like covered in like water.
Yeah.
And they like kind of like dip in just a bit. Like, we're getting so much great stuff. And Bowser Jr. with his Mario Wonder form, where it's like when you face off against him as a boss fight, I'm like, I do love like them jumping to Galaxy is not what I ever would have predicted. And I feel a little conflicted about it, where I'm like, why are we rushing? Like, we know we're going to get Mario movies forever. Like, why are we jumping to Galaxy? Why not do World? I do think it's weird Yoshi wasn't in this trailer. But also, when we look at the marketing beats the first movie had, we're just getting started. This movie's coming in April. I bet at Game Awards we get an actual clip that is 2 minutes of just from the movie that will show a lot more stuff. Like, I imagine that's where we see Yoshi.
Yeah, I was gonna say trailer number 2. I think we're gonna see a lot more, right? We talk about what we haven't seen, but yeah, the fact that we know and expect Yoshi to be here based off of like leaked marketing stuff, and the fact that we didn't get that, there are probably other things that we haven't seen yet. Maybe there is hope for Wario. Maybe there's hope for Waluigi and other characters in there. I feel like they played it very conservative with how much they showed us in this trailer, which I like for a first trailer. Yeah, don't show me everything in the first trailer. There's more trailers, and also there's the final movie to surprise me and delight me. So
yeah, and I do like that in the direct we got the little clip of Rosalina after. That felt so right, and it was beautiful. It's like, oh my God, this is what like Mario Galaxy would look like on a super insane PC, right? Like, God, stunning. The little Lumas, like, I liked that comedy bit. The Bowser comedy stuff, it is like, okay, this is some of the stuff that I'm less obsessed with from the first Mario movie, but it is what it is. I'm not mad at it. It doesn't get in the way, and parts of it made me laugh a little.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you, right? It's one of those things where I'm like, it's a kid's movie. It's going to appeal to kids. Jack Black, being Jack Black, is going to work on kids, and so I'm here for the ride. You know, the kids deserve what they get from this movie, and I deserve the memory berries, and we're going to get all of that. Yeah.
But yeah, overall, very, very stoked on that. I can't wait to watch that trailer many more times. We only got to watch it the one time, so... let's see what the chat has to say for this. Opponents Prime says Galaxy looks like a lot of fun. I just hope it isn't a greatest hits like the first movie and has some depth and heart to it like a Pixar film would. Yeah. I don't think you're gonna get that. And again, I also think that we like understate some of the more powerful quote unquote moments from the first movie. I do think the storyline between Mario and Luigi and like the brotherhood and all that stuff, it's not like the entire thing is about that like Pixar type stuff, but it's like the moments are there and it does hit.
Yeah.
Rewatch the Mario movie. I compel you.
Yeah. I mean, from everything we've talked about so far with this movie and seeing the first trailer, it does feel like the writers are kids in a candy store when it comes to the amount of game material that you can include in this. When we're looking at all the Galaxy, Toast Arena, this, that, like I do fuck with it. Like, it is that messy thing of we're at Galaxy already, but I also am. When you're making a Mario thing, you talk about the depth. Like, we don't really know Mario for story and writing depth. You know what I mean? We know Mario for fun and shenanigans, I guess, jumping around, hitting blocks, and doing all that shit.
That is true. And again, I am going to come off as a Mario movie defender because I am a Mario movie defender. The Mario movie gave us story.
Yeah.
We know his family. We're in Brooklyn. Like, there's so much stuff that like we've kind of put together in our heads, but it's like, I like that stuff. I feel like the Mario movie world is interesting to me, and I want to see how they adapt game elements to it. But it's like they're building a world that is its own, that can have a Peach that is very different than the Peach we know, because the Peach we know is just a damsel in distress.
Yeah.
It's just weird. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, thank you, Mario. And that's pretty much it. But it's like now we have a much more compelling character, I think.
Exactly.
So, all right, let's see. I'm so thrown about right now because we're trying to figure out how to like deal with the day with the rest of shows we have with all of the surprise news that came in. So I'm trying to figure something out. Give me 1 second.
I mean, do you want me to move on to story number 3? I can read story number 3.
Yes, please do that.
All right, we're going to hop into story number 3. A new Ratchet and Clank game has been announced. This is from Sal Romano at Gamatsu, and there's a trailer that's come out with it. Publisher Sony Interactive Entertainment and Beast Bio Exo Arena Suit Team developer OBB have announced free-to-play multiplayer arena shooter Ratchet and Clank Ranger Rumble for iOS and Android. Pre-registration is available now via the official website. Here's a brief overview of the game. Quote, the iconic characters from the Ratchet and Clank franchise are back in a stunning, fast-paced arena shooter packed with explosive weapons and larger-than-life action. Experience the humor, action, and energy of the iconic universe in a bold new real-time multiplayer format. Play as a legendary hero from the past, now with unique abilities, go solo, or team up with other Rangers online in thrilling multiplayer games built for every kind of player. Free to download soon.
What?
For the longest time, I've been asking what's going on with the mobile game division of PlayStation, because they heavily invested in this, or in that division years and years ago. I want to say 5 or 6 years ago. I remember talking about it since the beginning of when we brought back PS I Love You, as far as what are they doing with this mobile stuff, how many mobile games we're going to see from PlayStation. It feels like ever since then, it's been a trickling of them. Like we get them just every now and then, and whenever we get them, they don't feel like big deals, and I guess to some level I'm fine with that. Like maybe it is the balance of we don't want to make our audience feel like this is what Ratchet and Clank is now.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to over market what you're doing with these franchises when it looks like this, because this doesn't look good. In my opinion, it doesn't look good.
I'm with it's complicated because like look, I'm not gonna play it, but I do think it looks good. This looks like it has care put into it. And I think that like broadening the Ratchet and Clank IP, the fact that the IP is not dead is a very good sign.
Yes.
But them continuing to try to make it more relevant and like going to places that people that would play these games are, which is mobile, I think is the right call. If we're going to get a PlayStation Studios mobile game, I'm happy it looks like this compared to what I think this could be. But again, having said that, I'm not interested in playing it, and I'm a huge Ratchet and Clank fan. So it's kind of like a weird, like, who is this for? But there's an answer for that. And they're like, why is this happening? There's an answer for that. And as long as this isn't getting in the way of what a real, quote unquote, Ratchet and Clank is.
You know what's messed up is that I liked Ratchet Deadlocked. Do you remember Ratchet Deadlocked?
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever play that one?
Uh-huh.
That was like very much more arena
Combat,
focused.
yeah.
Arena combat with like a leaning towards multiplayer. But it was during an era where it's like, multiplayer was, I played on PS2. I forget. It came out on PS3. Somebody kind of funny. You're wrong me. Yeah.
No, that's PS2.
PS2. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it felt like a game that was almost ahead of its time. At least for me when I was playing it. Where
In what way?
it felt like a game that should have been kind of what this is, funny enough. It should be an online game. It should be I'm matchmaking and going into these arenas and fighting either with or against people. That felt like a game that almost could have been multiplayer only for the kind of thing that it was. And so on some level, I look at this and I go, oh, this is, to me, looks like the return of Deadlocked in a way.
Interesting.
And maybe I'm misremembering. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think of Deadlock just more as like, hey, the combat in Ratchet and Clank is super fun. Let's just do the tournament arc, essentially, of Ratchet and Clank as a video game, where it's not quite a spin-off, but it's less focused on the platforming and more focused on the combat. Because like, was it even multiplayer? I don't think it was.
Was it not?
Maybe it was. I didn't play it that way.
Also, it did come out on PS3, apparently.
As a classic, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because, yeah, Ratchet and Clank rebranded to Ratchet and Clank Future on the PS3.
IGN gave Deadlocked an 8.8 out of 10. But yeah, I guess my thought process then is that like the arena shooter vibe of Ratchet and Clank can work and can be fun because the weapons are crazy and like the enemy, like the action is so good in Ratchet and Clank. And I think we understate that because we think of it as a platformer and all this shit, right? But the action is so fun. So I can see this format working for it.
There was multiplayer.
Okay, cool. I guess for me, it's the art style that I don't like for this new mobile thing.
Looks like a mobile game.
It looks like a mobile game.
Yeah. But guess what?
It is a mobile game.
It's a mobile game. So yeah. Very interesting stuff. Let's move on to our next story. But Bless, I need to let you know.
Yeah,
we talked about some of the biggest news we've ever talked about on the show today.
We have.
If I want to know about something a lot smaller, where would I look?
We'd go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about. And I demoted some of the items because we've gotten so long in this show.
Arc Raiders publisher. Oh yeah, this is not a great Wii News thing to start with.
Yeah, no, this was one that I wanted to talk about as a full news story, but y'all understand.
Arc Raiders publisher defends generative AI use, insists every game company is now using it. This comes from Vicky Blake at IGN. They suggest players should, quote, assume that every game company is now using AI. Yeah. That sucks.
It's I won't even say it's boiled down because that is kind of just the quote of the article. But if you want to read the full article, go to IGN, read the Vicky Blake article. Yeah, that sucks. It's also one of those things where, even within the context of the whole article, I wish there was more. I wish there was more to it. I wish there was more said, because that's just unequivocally untrue. Right, we've had game companies come out and be like, Nintendo, for example, hey, we're not using AI here, right? Like, we know many indie companies. I saw Oliver Nelson tweeting about this yesterday of like, no, a lot of indie studios just don't use AI because fuck that shit. I think the people where a lot of the energy of this quote might come from might be from the AAA shareholder side of where you're seeing the money go and what people are willing to invest in, because AI is a big buzzword in where money goes in investment. And so yeah, a lot of people are using AI, right? A lot of people are starting to use AI, but there's way more nuance than about it than this. And I think there's a big conversation to be had about Arc Raiders and their implementation, because it gets real messy at a certain point.
Yeah, man. It fucking sucks. I hate this world we're in. Generative AI sucks. Yeah. Why are we doing it? But there's answers to why. And the answer is money.
Money.
Where Winds Meet is at a 69 on OpenCritic right now. Craig Robinson at Gamer Guides gave it a 68 out of 100, saying Where Winds Meet is a fantastic RPG for either players looking for a solid action combat game with more grounded storytelling, or to more MMO-like players wanting a social experience. However, it's marred by technical implementation, weighing the game down quite dramatically.
Yeah, that was kind of the consensus I was seeing as I was pulling together the review roundup. Jared Green at IGN gave it a 6 out of 10 as well, and I've been seeing a lot of scores float from 6 to 7 range, with some 8s out there as well. This one I was looking forward to just out of curiosity, because it's one of those everything games. It's one of those, it's free to play, but you look at it and it looks almost like it's an Assassin's Creed style third-person action thing. But the more you see gameplay, it seems like how the fuck does this game exist? 1 second you're playing Mahjong, the other you're hanging out in this like luscious open world, the other you're doing some other random bullshit. Yeah. Reminds me a little bit of like a Crimson Desert that's coming up, for example, or even maybe a Genshin, or these games that feel like they're almost too good to be true. And sadly, from these reviews so far, it seems like it's marred by technical difficulties / translation stuff, not living up to maybe what people would have wanted out of it. But Where Winds Meet, another one.
Sega, this comes from VGC. Sega's announced that it will be raising employee salaries again 3 years after its last salary increase. In a press release, the company said it'd be revising the salary levels of full-time employees at its Japanese subsidiary and would be raising the starting salary for new employees.
I'm tired of these fucking big AAA. Wait, they're raising the money? Yeah. Oh shit, they're raising the salaries?
Yeah, just in Japan, but still, good on you, Sega.
Wow, good on Sega.
Big stuff. PlayStation Extra and premium games for November have been announced. GTA 5, Insurgency, Still Wakes the Deep, Pacific Drive, Monster Jam Showdown, Talos Principle 2. Thank goodness you're here. MotoGP 25, and Tomb Raider Anniversary. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has sold 4 million copies. Congrats, that's huge. Falcom will release Trails in the Sky second chapter during the fiscal year ending September 2026.
Sure, Mike is excited for that.
From GamesIndustry.biz, Ubisoft veteran Johannes Theim has founded Quality Time Studio, a new developer based in Lower Saxony, Germany. The Analog 3D ships November 18th.
Which, finally, I hope this isn't a lie.
Did you pre-ordered it, right?
I pre-ordered this.
I am so excited to see it and hear about it from you.
I'm excited to get it. It's been delayed for so long that I kind of stopped being excited about it. And now that I see the Steam machine, I'm kind of like, man, I feel like that's going to be the living room thing. When that comes out, that's going to replace my Analog 3D. But I'm excited for it. N64 era, we're here. 4K N64 games, like, it's what I want.
Cult of the Lamb makes its mobile debut on Apple Arcade December 4th, and the American Red Cross is teaming up with Pac-Man, which is why he's here. They're celebrating the 45th anniversary of the game, scoring an exclusive pair of Red Cross and Pac-Man socks. Here they are. When you come to give November 17th or through December 7th, 2025. What's Gary? You guys got?
Yeah, we don't need
go
to
check
the
that
rest
out.
of
And that's it for Wii News.
Do you want these socks?
I'm good. You can have them.
I'll have these socks.
You can have these socks.
I love getting new socks. Does anybody want this Pac-Man toy? I don't either.
Kebabs. Normally I wouldn't do this,
Oh no.
but I'm gonna do it just,
Oh, no.
just because they're good and they are the Ratchet and Clank person here.
Mhm.
Kebabs super chats in saying, I put my Ratchet and Clank Ranger Rumble thoughts into You're Wrong. This is not what You're Wrong is
This
for.
is not what it's for,
It's
Kebab.
not what it's for, but I'm going to
You're rewarding bad
briefly-
behavior, Tim.
I know. But Ratchet Deadlock originally released on PS2, but was given a digital only port to PS3 in 2013. And then they're saying that my first thoughts on Ranger Rumble, the music quickly stood out to me, felt like leaning more towards classic PS2 Ratchet stuff, which fans have been pining for decades at this point. It isn't as radical a departure as one might think. It's a lot like the multiplayer modes in Up Your Arsenal, Deadlocked, and even Full Frontal Assault, but with slower movement and some
Sorry.
only butt stuff.
You forgot just butt stuff.
Yeah.
You gotta add Ratchet there.
Despite this, I still expect most of the fan base to be disappointed that the game exists. You're not playing as Ratchet. Aaron at IG's confirmed it's in a simulation. Using a generic brown Lombax instead of Rivet is a head scratcher, though. I do really like the art style, but the lack of PC or PS5 versions immediately kills my interest. A little bonus trivia. It's not the first mobile Ratchet and Clank game going mobile and before the Nexus exists.
Mhm.
And I'm going to stop it there. But thank you, Kebabs,
Thank
for
you.
your fandom of Ratchet and Clank.
Don't do that again, but thank you.
And that's been Games Daily. I'm going to let everyone know we are not doing Kind of Funny podcast today.
Mm.
I apologize. There won't be one this week at this point. This episode was too crazy and too long, and we have too much to do today.
You
So
know,
executive decisions had to be.
I'll say I think the trade-off was worth it.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I love Kind of Funny podcast, but we had a lot to talk about here.
We did. We did.
needed
So
to talk about it.
thank you all for joining us today. Bless has to go play Dispatch so that later today he can
Oh,
go get
God.
on the review and spoiler cast.
We'll
and all
see if
that.
I make it at
We'll
this
see.
point.
We'll see. Best laid plans, everybody. But
Yeah.
thank y'all for understanding. You are the best. Till next time, stay tuned for the stream, Doom, the Dark Ages.